don't think so. I think we're streaming.
There we go. Oh, there it is. Just exit out of that. Try to go live again. The same thing. Right now, yeah. Take start. Streaming software, and then should connect with OBS now. Oh yeah, see. I have to edit that and then just copy and paste.
Well, where is that info?
I think it should be in settings.
I don't think you have to do all this. I think
No?
it's just automatically going. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
OBS.
Let's just go on our channel to see how it looks like. How about that? Because I'd still like to want to see the comments.
Oh, that's funny.
They go live on both channels. There we go. Woo! I'd
Yeah.
still like to want to see the. All right. Perfect. You were right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you need to do shit. My phone has been
Go live on both channels.
unlocked in my pocket for a while.
Oh my god.
I just opened it up to the one dude from Cars and Comrades like personal Instagram. Like,
Oh.
what have I been doing in there?
Oh boy. Oh, are we frozen? Oh, can we turn up the HD, or is this is the pinnacle ideal of? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna close out of this. We don't need to see this.
Well, I'm just gonna see the chat.
Well, let's just do that from our dashboard though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Could you maybe like click and drag it to make it longer?
Click what? Drag what?
Like the side of the top chat.
This?
Okay, no. Live chat.
Yeah, but it's like.
Yeah.
Dude, what is this? No.
Comments maybe on the side there. We don't do this very often, so it's like.
Yeah, probably should have figured this out before we went live. But I mean,
What's my phone at? I could probably just.
yeah, just do it on your phone.
Yeah. Woo! Okay. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean we're live. We're good to go.
Yeah. We're just trying to figure shit out. We're old, man. We're old.
I like how you put on the glasses as if they were like reading glasses.
Just.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Let's get this going, I guess. Do we have anything we want to review while we're live here? Any videos, anything like that?
no. I mean, it's just so far it's just articles that I have found. I will say, I did make a. Well, hold on. Before we do any of that, let me record the audio.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this should be good to go.
Woo. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I tested these earlier.
Is it mono though? Or
No.
Okay.
No, it's just the top yellow bar. It's just the volume bar.
Ah.
And I probably sound a little weird because I might be a little sick, or I'm getting over a sickness.
Well, I don't have my headphones on.
I was sick last week, and then now I feel kind of good. Now I feel okay. You look great, man. That's a good look. Oh. That's a. Oh, know what? We never got Tarantula's Dream on.
What?
We never, I guess,
Oh yeah, we never
reconnected
have, huh?
with Tarantula's Dream
We still gotta make that. You got tinfoil?
somewhere. Yeah, upstairs. But I'm not going upstairs. We're not talking about any conspiracy theories today.
Oh,
At
yeah.
least, well, I mean,
We can make it live on stream. Conspiracy theory.
yeah, I don't know if it's an actual conspiracy. Where's my flashlight doing down here?
Your flashlight?
Yeah, I have a flashlight down here. Nope, don't remember. I don't know if it's. I would consider it an actual conspiracy theory, but there's some RFK stuff I want to talk about a little later.
Ooh, RFK conspiracies.
Yeah, I'm back to talk shit on all you RFK fucking bozos.
Do we have something to sell you?
Dude, the fucking RFK goobs are just out in force always.
This
And
is fucking ridiculous. I'm dismissing the fucking pants.
yeah.
How's everybody doing today?
I mean, I have a full suit of camo, like a camo long sleeve, like overall coveralls in the closet in there. Yeah. I don't.
No, that's too much.
Yeah,
Man, this is too much.
Yeah.
It's already.
I used
as fuck.
I used to go hunting, and there you go. When I went like deer hunting and stuff, I have my camo like overalls. I have 2 pairs back there, 2 sets.
I ain't racist, man. I drink Cantaritos.
Cantaritos by Jarritos.
By Jarritos. I drink
By
Jarritos,
Jarritos.
dude. I can't be racist.
Jarritos. I don't know what that means.
Jarritos?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
Jarritos.
somebody's last name.
Yeah,
They're
maybe.
pretty good, man, but I feel like too many of these things can like really give you a hangover.
Yeah, they're too sweet, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really go in for like super sweet drinks.
I don't either, but
yeah.
like it's kind of nice to have like 1 or 2 to get your night started.
For sure. Yeah.
How do you usually start your night when you're drinking?
I start with Rainiers.
Just Rainiers?
I end with Rainiers.
You start and end with Rainiers?
No, it depends on how drunk I get. I'll start with Rainiers, but then if I like keep drinking, I will at some point inevitably think I like Scotch. I'm a Scotch guy.
That's the worst thing you could possibly
Yeah, that's
do.
always like
That's how you start throwing up.
When I start
3
drinking
a.m.
Johnny Walker Black, that's when I realize that I'm too drunk. I'll be like, Johnny Walker Black rocks, please.
No.
Everywhere I go.
I had Johnny
And
Walker Black.
that's when my
one
wife,
time.
when my wife hears me order a Johnny Walker Black, she's like, that's it. That's when I need to be cut off, because it's at that point that I'm like drunk enough to think that I'm like a Scotch guy, a sophisticated, refined Scotch man, and I'm like, that's
oh god, here's
one too many.
Lennon is gonna come out. Oh my god, no, that like the safe word. Like, what's your safe word?
What?
What's like
for sex or for
sex.
drinking? Okay.
Well, like you could like.
I'm not telling you that.
No, I'm not. I'm not asking. I'm asking you if you know the concept of a safe word.
Of course, I know the concept of a safe word.
Okay, well, there's like that. You could like just move that over into drinking.
Just for drinking, yeah.
Yeah, it just like if I start talking about this, we go home.
Yeah.
When the black labels are coming out, that's the last drink you're having.
I'm always like convincing my wife it's fine. Like, no, it's fine. I can have Scotch.
I had a black label. And a double black label, double black.
Yeah,
I
mean, I actually enjoy it.
I think they're disgusting. It just tastes like burnt wood.
I love it. I love a good Scotch. Like, so the context there is that I do enjoy it. It's just, but they will mess you up as far as like.
Well, does all Scotch just taste like wood that's caught fire and then dropped in vodka?
No, it all tastes different depending on the barrels, the notes.
I think it's the black label and the double black label, really, for me.
Yeah, well, black label's like mid-ish. It's like lower mid as far as like Johnny Walker goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I like myself really light whiskeys, like Irish style whiskey, so more like
Jameson.
Yeah. And you know what's actually a decent drink that I kind of overlooked, but also made by a shitty character? That's 12, Proper 12. By McGregor.
Oh, yeah, that guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, but hey, the dude knows how to make a fucking decent whiskey. I like it. Personally, I fuck with the whiskey.
Yeah.
I like that light whiskey. I can drink it on the rocks. Anything like too much darker than an Irish whiskey, once you start getting to like bourbon and after one I want to puke.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you want to start getting into some of this stuff?
Yeah, let's get some of the stuff.
Should we start with some of the more like mundane local stuff, and this Parenti stuff will hold? If anybody's watching, and if anybody's listening to the edit later, we're going to be reading, we are reading Michael Parenti's Black Shirts and Reds. You went crazy and about damn near finished the book, right? Or
well, hear me out. I woke up at 3:30 and I
Yeah.
could not go back to sleep.
Right.
So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I got ready and I headed off to the gym at 4:30.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I hit my weights, I hit my cardio, came home by like 7.
Yeah.
Right, I had some errands I had to run. It was really fucking. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a beautiful morning.
Yeah.
It was the sun. It was cold, but it was sunny. It was nice and crisp.
Hmm.
I liked it, but I was like, what am I supposed to do? I know we're supposed to read this a couple of chapters, and I'm like, all right, let's. I have trouble reading because my ADHD just like makes me read the same paragraph 14 times over. So I go on Audible. He let me know that it's free.
It's free on
I
Audible.
got it on
It's
Audible.
free with I think you have to have a premium Audible subscription, right? Or is it just? Do you pay for
I don't know.
Audible?
My mom pays for Audible, and then she just shares it with me.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, man, one less subscription I have to pay for, I'll fucking take it. But yeah, so I end up listening to. It's 5 hours and 30 minutes, and I am 3 hours and 10 minutes through it.
Yeah. It's only 5 hours. Okay, I just finished a book on Audible that was 26 hours, and I'm halfway through another 25 hours.
Yeah.
Right
I was
now.
thinking about finishing the whole book today, but I was like, if I won't remember everything if I just consume the entire
Yeah, I
fucking
actually
book.
ordered the book too. I don't I listened to it on
Fantastic
Audible.
read, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's right. I'm only on chapter 3, which is I think like a third of the way through, but
Yeah.
or a quarter give or take. But yeah, it's really good. I had never read that one before. I'm familiar with Printy. I've obviously
Oh,
everyone in the world is.
is the mic working on here?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's
Yeah,
working
yeah,
on OBS so people. Okay.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I've watched the Yellow Printy speech like everybody, but I've never read Black Shirts and Reds. I'd known about it. I'd known that it's kind of like a seminal, like modern Marxist
It was
classic.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, man, it's so good. The first two chapters is just more context. Like it goes, yeah, it's just more context of like what, like the fascism in Italy and Germany, and then now chapter 2, he kind of turns his attention to like what communism is, and kind of like debunks that main kind of thesis of the first two chapters is like that's this fake idea of like the horseshoe theory that communism and
Yeah,
fascism are
exactly.
kind of like very very similar, or
It's
it's like
it's
it's
the
all
same
just
thing as just
totalitarian.
autocratic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like this.
he does a really good job debunking that. So if you're on the left, or if you're kind of a communist, socialist, whatever, and you've heard that argument and you don't have a good answer to like that, I highly encourage you to read Black Shirts and Red. It's free online. You can just Google Black Shirts and Red PDF. It's on like the Marxist Internet Archives. It's on a bunch of Internet Archive websites in PDF form. I actually printed off the first two chapters today while I wait for my purchase copy to come in the mail
Mm-hmm.
for use, because like I want to pay for it to get the publishing.
If you do have Audible, the narrator on Audible is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's pretty good too.
Super clear.
So yeah, there's a lot of different free ways to get it. I spent like $12 to order the book. So yeah,
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 definitely. I once you start hitting the third and fourth chapter, he starts going into depth about the USSR and perhaps even China, and talks about um, where they kind of fucked up.
yeah.
But like the
I'm not that far yet. Yeah,
well, yeah, it's
I think I
great because
just
it
started
goes
first
really
chapter.
like into like the little nuances of like what communism actually looks like
Yeah,
versus like just like theoretical revolutionary blah blah blah. Like
yeah,
what does communism look like in a state after it's been there for 60, 70 years, right? What was not what the downfall was, but what were like the things that were kind of manipulating the society? And lo and behold, a lot of it was just basically media.
yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't say CIA media, but like Western media, basically looking like, oh, this fairy tale land, America is the land of opportunity. Look
Mm-hmm.
what we got over here. Yes, we have rich and poor, but if you work hard, you can get there. And a lot of people in the Soviet Union believed that, and they forgot what they were guaranteed. How they forgot like the beauty of what they had, which was like healthcare.
Lost the forest for the trees, kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we said we weren't going to talk about it, and then we started
Well,
talking
just give
about
us
it.
an intro.
No,
We're
no, no.
gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, so if you're interested, read it. It's free multiple places. It's cheap otherwise, and follow along. We're gonna kind of go more in depth. I've prepared kind of like a bio on Parenti, kind of doing like a little background on him, and then we're gonna just have a real. I think, barring any kind of pressing news, I think we're just gonna spend probably the next episode just talking about the book, and kind of talking about that
Yeah.
conversation of communism and fascism, and kind of
Great book, and
yeah.
I have a hard time paying attention to read. I could not stop listening to it.
It's good, man. He's good. He's a
I
good
could
writer.
not stop.
Yeah, it's
listening
actually
to
a
it.
fascinating. I don't want to get too much like.
3 hours, 3 hours
Yeah,
straight. I listened to this guy.
it's a fascinating story too of why he became a writer, because he was a college professor, and there's a whole like there's drama and there's intrigue, and it's it's a cool story. His life story is pretty interesting
He's
too.
still
I didn't
alive?
know he was still alive. He's 90 years old.
God damn, bro. Fuck
Yeah.
Noam Chomsky. This guy is the fucking
Yeah,
real
he's the
deal. And,
but he's like quietly just cranking out books. He's not like
yeah.
in everybody's business like
And
Noam
it's nice
Chomsky.
because he like debunks Noam Chomsky too. You
Yeah,
know, because a lot of people are really big lovers of Noam Chomsky, but realistically, the dude was
he's kind of a turd.
he
Yeah,
is kind of a
and he's
turd.
kind of a isn't he a pedophile or at least
He
alleged?
he
Like
he's alleged. I don't want to say out loud if whether
you
he's
don't want to
not or
slander
not.
him. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I fucking hate the dude. He like denies my people's genocide, so he can go fucking
Oh, that was another thing
be
too.
burn in
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. But um, intellectually, he debunked him.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times what he was talking about was like, you know, the Soviet Union, because it was so autocratic and it didn't have like some sort of like resemblance of democracy, it like turned off people. It didn't provide people like real rights and stuff like that. And he immediately just debunked everything he had to say. He sounded like a Trotsky, basically,
Yeah.
a Trotskyist. You know? And it is like, as much as we fucking talk shit about Trotskyists, still better than being like a sock them.
Yeah, I mean, Trotskyist is still a type of communist, right? So I think they're a little like misguided. Is not maybe that's a little chauvinistic, but just like I think it's a little like anarchists. I think it's a little naive, and there's a certain lacking of like material awareness
Yeah,
that goes into Trotskyism. Although, like, I used to be a lot more hard against Trots than I am now, because I think I think somebody said once like, "Hey, we're all communists," so like
yeah.
I'm you know what I mean. I'm gonna put aside the like very specific infighting for kind of this greater like movement.
It's
We
so
can we
it's
can
it's
hammer out the
yeah.
details later.
It's very nitpicky, like on the stuff.
Yeah.
But it does matter. I'm like, well,
Although that
why?
Vivek buying a newsletter from
That's
the
hilarious.
Trots was pretty fucking funny.
That was pretty fucking
Because like
funny.
it's just so funny that like the meme is that Trots are just always just trying to sell
Some
newspapers, and
yes.
that's their whole ideology is just
Oh,
selling newspapers.
dude, we gotta
And
watch that
that
clip.
like yeah, we should pull up that clip later. And then like they fucking got him. They got him. They roped him in, and it's like, oh, just five, just $3, just $5, just $10 for a newsletter, and they fucking got Vivek, dude. Just like goddamn Trots. I saw that and I thought it was
Oh,
so
God.
funny, dude.
Like, listen, like we can use trots. We need to use them for marketing.
Yeah,
more than
no,
anything.
they are. I've said this multiple times. I've been saying this since like the year we've been running this podcast.
Leave
The
the theory
Trots
to
are
us.
a what?
Like, leave the theory and the politics to
Oh,
us.
sure.
We need you for marketing.
Trots are winning like the optics game. They're the ones that have the stickers of Marx that say like, "Are you a communist?" Like they can get organized or whatever. Like
Yeah.
or make it official.
Have you been
or
called
whatever.
a communist?
Oh, been called a communist lately. Make it official.
Yeah.
That's all the Trots, dude. Like they're out there, and people recognize their like iconography and like their imagery
Yeah.
of the Trots parties, and their newspaper is called The Communist. Like they have like the lock on like
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The only
they
problem
know how to
is,
sell goddamn newspapers. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. Anyway, I forget where we started that, but the point is, actually, I don't even know the point. I
Noam
lost.
Chomsky.
Noam Chomsky. Michael Parenti is the better Noam Chomsky.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen forward to next episode when we talk about Parenti. But now we're going to talk about something much less fun, which is just American domestic news political recap. Yay!
Woo! Yeah.
We didn't have an episode. We had an episode prior to the DNC, and that was the last one. Oh, speaking of, just a quick retraction. I think I misnamed the guy who was the leader of the SDS, the Students for a Democratic Society. It was Tom Hayden is the leader. I think I was calling him Remy Danton or Remy Denton. I think was like another another leader in the SDS. But it wasn't. It was Thomas Hayden. I think was kind of the main guy. And fun fact, that guy's still a politician in California today. He's in the California State House. The guy who was like one of the leaders of the 1968 Democratic one of the leaders of the 1968 that Democratic Convention riots, those protests that happened in Chicago. He's currently still in the State House in California. I don't think he's ever ran for national office, but he's in the California State House. And his name was Tom Hayden. I just wanted to clear that up. I was listening back to it in the edit, and I recognized that I was misnaming that guy.
Well,
anyway,
you
DNC recap. We didn't do an episode after, so that was our last episode. That was the week of the DNC, and I had promised that I was going to actually watch the DNC and like kind of like bring a full like a report back basically of the DNC. And goddamn, by like day 2, I wanted to claw my eyes out.
Yeah,
there's nothing of value to report back. I can say after the 4 fucking days of the DNC, literally like it's just. Although nothing positive to report back, which I don't. That was never really probably going to happen.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
like,
when you couldn't expect anything more.
dude, it was so cringe of like how many like Republicans they had like come stand for them, cops, Zionists, the Israelis, like the family of hostages came and like made their plea, like the Israel flags flew. It was just like all celebrities. Oprah was there, Lil Jon was there, Kenan Thompson was there.
Oh, like I saw like
Yeah,
Little John come out of nowhere. I'm
yeah,
like,
he was
dude,
like
was
he's a
this
delegate
fucking
from I think Georgia.
Little John?
Yeah, he was
is
an
a
actual
delegate?
fucking delegate, I think.
What
So
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, he was just like it was just like it pans over the delegate. It's
Yeah,
just Lil Jon. It's
yeah.
just Lil Jon as a delegate, and I'm
Well,
like,
I was so
oh my
surprised
god.
because I'm like watching clips and stuff like that, and this guy just comes out, is like, yeah, yeah, okay, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? What
Yeah,
is
man.
this? The Super Bowl halftime show?
That's basically what
This is
that's what it felt
fucking
like, dude.
politics, man. And ideally, like that's how they're running. They're running based upon vibes at
It's
this
all vibes.
moment.
It's all vibes
It's
based,
all
dude.
vibes. I'm like, there's no political analysis. There's no materialist, dialectical materialism. There's nothing. There's like, who do we know? Who can we bring on to get the youngins, ecstatic about voting for Kamala Harris? And I saw videos of people at the DNC getting interviewed by like I guess leftists. I wasn't quite sure who they were, but they're asking is like, what's the most excited policy that Kamala's putting forward that you're excited about? Like what? And nobody could answer anything. It's like her being president.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
like, you
that.
know what a policy is?
Yeah, no, and there's if you go to
Oh my
if you go to
god.
the Harris Walls website, there's still no policies listed. It's 100% vibes based.
It's vibe.
There's
It's just
zero.
Brat Summer. That's the vibe.
Yeah, did you see Charlie XCX is like walking that back because like I guess her conservative fans like don't like it, so she's saying she's now like not endorsing, or she came out and said she's not publicly endorsing Harris
Because of a conservative fans?
I guess so. Apparently Charlie XCX
She's
has
doing
like
lines of blow live events underneath the fucking stage with the DJ.
yeah.
Well, with the DJ mix, but like she's a conservative?
I don't know if she's conservative, but like her fan base is conservative.
What? Kind of. I'm so confused.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
That's just what I saw from something was that
like
she's been walking it back of like the whole because the whole Brat Summer thing or Kamala Harris's Brat came from Charlie XCX.
Yeah, I know.
But apparently she's like now kind of like walking that back and saying that she doesn't actually endorse Harris or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care about their weird vibes. The point of the DNC is that like AOC came out like full throated dim. AOC is just full on like she's like Nancy Pelosi 2.0 now.
That I just saw that and I'm like, bro,
she's doing all like the whole cringy like TikTok trend thing.
We should pop it up.
Yeah, and like
if you guys haven't seen it, we'll show you it real quick.
Yeah, it's just
when I saw that, I was just like, I saw somebody remake it and have like Gaza being bombed.
I've seen that. Yeah, how would I frame that?
Oh my god, just do a DNC TikTok AOC Pelosi.
Oh, and why was Melania Trump in that too? That I don't understand.
Was that Melania Trump?
It was Melania Trump.
No, wait, what? No, that wasn't Melania Trump.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it was.
What is going on in America?
You might have to just put it here, like if I can't, because I can't. I don't know. Let's see, because I don't even think we have the split set up, but we could take a minute to get that set up. Let's see. I can't find it also, so like I don't know. Find it and link it in chat or something.
DNC AOC TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be 1,000 things.
Dance. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like,
anyways, well, I'm not. Oh yeah, if I'm editing this, I'll try to throw it in.
If you know, you know what we're talking about, and like, yeah, that Melania Trump was.
It's like when they're doing this. Like,
yeah, I know who posted. I know who posted it recently. Sally Hates Kaplan just posted the one where it's a Gaza explosion.
Yeah.
We'll just go to her Instagram. I know she just posted it. And if you don't follow Sally Hates Capitalism, go for it. I wonder if it's like one of these. See, that's the problem is everybody posts like fucking 20 things to their goddamn thing. It's impossible to find anything.
Go to if you go to the top. Oh,
here
it is.
There it is. So let's see.
Damn, that was recently. That was like 15 posts ago.
Yeah, dude, she spams though. Here we go.
Like I'm scared of posting more than like one every 2 days because I don't want to spam. Oh, there's no sound.
I don't know. That's Melania fucking Trump, dude. And he's such a little weasel. I don't understand, dude. I don't, dude. The whole world is topsy turvy. Yeah, that is her, right?
Is that her? Hold on,
You got
let's
Hillary,
look.
you got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Pelosi,
Pelosi.
Melania fucking
I don't
Trump.
think that's Melania. That looks younger than Melania. Reply there. Review replies in the comments.
Oh, I see. Hold on.
Still doing it too. Who the fuck is that? Just like find some red-haired.
Bruh, that's Melania Trump.
It doesn't.
Isn't that what she looks like?
It looks similar, but Melania Trump's like a little older, and this girl looks more like Latina. Melania Trump's Slovenian. She's my folk, unfortunately. I disown her.
I don't know. Oh, I guess that woman does look a little younger than Melania Trump. I have no idea who that's supposed to be. Who's the woman in the AOC Hillary dance?
Hillary Clinton. It's the same shit every fucking year. Every 4 years. Every election cycle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Fucking
They just like throw a hot girl in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I still can't tell who that is. I'm still like not convinced it's not Melania, but whatever.
It's just AI Melania.
It's just AI Melania. Anyway, like that was the whole DNC. It was just weird vibes and just weird like shit like that really didn't amount to anything. Also, there was no Palestinian voices. There was no like there was a couple. I think at one point Harris mentioned like the need for a ceasefire, but like all of the weapons come from America. So like without those weapons, there wouldn't be a need for a ceasefire. So like my brother, you are the fire, cease it. Like I don't know. Although I will say the DNC did not really do. Usually, you get a little bump in polls from a bump in percentage points in polls from your conventions. That really didn't happen here. There really wasn't a change dramatically, or there wasn't a noticeable change in polling from the DNC. Although speaking of polling, Harris is now up not an insignificant amount, 47% to 43%, 47.1 to 43.7.
How recent is this?
That's from like 2 days ago or today. But that's the national average. It's not a super healthy like wide margin.
It's also within the.
It's definitely within the margin of error, and it's also like, but it is a lot wider than previous. I mean, like Biden was down like 7 points at one point, and now Harris is up 3. But that's just the average. Some polls have her up as like high as 7 points, but others have it's just her with just a 1 point lead.
Yeah.
So it's like it's this 3% is just the national average. It's still pretty much like 50-50. Yeah.
Maybe just the slightest lead to her.
Yeah, I think she has a slight lead.
I think she
in the
has
popular
like a 1
vote,
to 2
though.
point lead.
I think so too, and that's just a popular vote. Keep in mind too.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about here is I'm going to pull up this electoral college map. This is an interesting thing. I feel like that guy on fucking CNN who's always like that old white guy who's always like getting like really intense about his touch screen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that guy? I'll have to pull. I forget his name, but he's like always just tapping his fucking electoral college map. I feel like that guy right now. Let me go back to. Well, it doesn't matter. We don't need split screen, but
OBS that could look so to show people.
I guess that's fair. So I just wanted to just touch on this real quick. Of like, this is the electoral map. This is exactly what it was. As far as I know, I think it's exactly what it was in 2020 as well with Biden's win. Biden won these two, and I think he won every swing state. Biden won every swing state except for North Carolina.
He also won Georgia. Right?
He won Georgia. This was the electoral math last election, 303 to 235.
They stole it from me.
Yeah. So here's the problem with this electoral math, and like we're gonna put on our Harris caps for the time being. Not that we're real Harris fans, but we're speaking generally against a Trump win, I guess is like how we can phrase that.
I hate both, but one is like this light is better than the other.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd go that far, but like assuming we want a Harris win, there's actually here's the problem. Harris is up nationally by 3% according to that poll, 1 to 3% depending on who you ask.
Yeah,
she's actually down a not an insignificant amount in a lot of these states, though. So she kind of needs to win them all, or most.
I think it's going to come down to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so here's the thing: is like I said, here's the thing too many times, but there's a lot of interesting ways this can shake out. And remember, Nebraska and Maine both have a split electoral, and this is exactly what they went last election as well, and this is exactly what it looks like it's shaking out to be too. So it's going to be a complete repeat of 2020 election, and I was curious: is that going to be a trend moving forward? Is like that as states like Washington and California tighten gun control and loosen like abortion bans and stuff, and that's going to draw more liberals and progressives to those states. I know it's why we moved here, so my wife could practice the type of medicine as a doctor that she wanted to practice because she couldn't practice that medicine in Arizona. So that's why Washington was on that. So like as leftish people move to these blue states, and as conservative people move away from them, like I know because of the Washington gun ban last year, that buying a gun is like very difficult in Washington. Washington has 10-round capacity max on all weapons. 10-day waiting period. You have to take a safety course to get a weapon. They've banned all semi-automatic rifles that are non-center fire, so you can get a 22 rifle that's semi-automatic, but AR-15s, AKs, all semi-automatic rifles are done. It's just like it's very, very prohibitive here in Washington. So I know a lot of people are leaving Washington. Like conservatives are leaving blue states, and liberals are leaving red states. And so my question is, I wonder if this electoral makeup is going to just get further and further defined as just the reality, and every election is going to look the same, because this is exactly the same as 2020.
Am I? Am
Yeah.
I? I think it's going to come down to like crucial demographics, like for example, in Michigan, the Arabs and Muslims in general, with the
Yeah.
whole Gaza Palestine genocide going on right now. In Pennsylvania, there's a decent amount of Muslims and a decent amount of Arabs there.
Yeah, and a lot of like
With
East
Georgia,
African,
there is a
North
chance.
African, East African Muslims as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Georgia, there might be a decent uh, bump for Kamala because she's black. You know,
Yeah,
there's
and
a lot
so
of people in Georgia are
and that
black.
was kind of the thing too, is like the Biden campaign was spending a lot of time and money in different states that now Harris doesn't have to, because Harris is a different candidate than Biden, and so things are kind of like a lot different for each of them, and it's just interesting how that's kind of shaking out. And I don't know if that's really all that interesting because it's just electoral math, and nobody really cares about electoral math.
Let me see what you think is going to happen.
What's that?
Let me see what you think is going to happen.
I think Arizona's going to go to Trump. I think Nevada's going to go to Biden. I think Wisconsin's going to vote to Biden. I haven't done this math, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I think, yeah, I think it could come down to Georgia. So check this out: if Nevada goes blue and Arizona goes red, Wisconsin and Michigan both go blue, just because, like you said, the Arab and the Muslim populations, the East African and Arab Muslims that live in Michigan, and then if Wisconsin goes blue, if Pennsylvania goes red, it's still tied, or it's still close enough to be tied. And then Georgia would give Republicans 280. Remember, you need 270 to win.
Yeah.
And it would give Democrats 273. And I think Georgia is kind of a tight place. And in fact, Harris and Walz have been campaigning in rural Georgia, I think, as of this morning. Because, like, I think they recognize that, too, of, like, Georgia is kind of, I think it might come down to Georgia. So I think Nevada's going blue. I think Arizona's going red. I think Wisconsin and Michigan are going blue. I think Pennsylvania's going red. North Carolina's going red. And then it'll come down to that neither party will have 270 at that point. They will both have 265 for Republicans, 257 for Democrats, and I think it'll come down to those. What is that? 10 electoral votes in Georgia. I can't read that from here. In Georgia, and that'll be. Oh no, it can't be 10 because that wouldn't give them. What's 257, 273, 16 in Georgia. And I think Walz and Harris know that too because I think that's where they're campaigning right now.
Yeah. I think literally the same exact electoral map you're looking at now. The only thing I would do is flip Pennsylvania and Michigan.
You think Michigan's going red?
Yes, I think Michigan's going red because there's so many people that are not going to vote for Kamala Harris. I would give Pennsylvania to the Democrats, just barely. They have a.
That's still a dim win. Yeah.
So it's going to come down.
Yeah, I think the Republicans have a harder. They have more of an uphill battle. I think it's the Democrats' race to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, the governor of Pennsylvania is kind of like somewhat of a popular Democratic governor.
Yeah, what's his name? That's not
Shapiro.
Shapiro. Yeah, Shapiro. Yeah, and
Shapiro.
he's the Zionist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody named Shapiro is a Zionist.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I,
you know what? I was actually thinking about that today. I was thinking in my head how much I hated Ben Shapiro today, as I often do. Ben Shapiro kind of lives rent free in my head of just how much I hate him. But I was actually thinking remember that incredibly racist tweet he had a couple years, excuse me, a few years ago, of like Israelis like to build, Arabs like to blow shit up, and it's just
yeah,
like it's just so funny because like with what we're going to talk about later, like Arabs like to build and Israelis like to blow shit up, and his tweet could not have been more backwards.
it's straight up like.
Yeah,
I mean, it's projection. At
yeah,
the end of
it's
the
all
day,
it's just projection.
they're just
Go
always
back to this, man.
projecting.
Yeah,
That's what they do. They don't know anything better, and uh, the only way they can convince any of their side is just probably pretty much saying it's like, listen, the fucked up shit that we're doing, it's actually the Democrats,
yeah,
right? The
always is,
Democrats are
brother.
actually the Nazis. And that's not saying Democrats are much better. Look, don't get me wrong, but it's just straight projection.
Yeah.
Um, it's unfortunate. Um, and I think this is actually a good place to stop by for RFK.
Oh yeah. So here
Um,
so this electoral math and these polling numbers is relevant. That leads us into RFK, which as of the 23rd, so last Friday, RFK dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump. So all of you fucking weird little RFK nerds, suck it. I literally wrote "suck it, RFK nerds" when I was writing these notes because I was just like, dude,
yeah,
fucking little RFK nerds. And where he did it is not a coincidence. He did it in Arizona, which I think they did it in Phoenix, Arizona. Just a pretty large Trump rally. RFK came on stage, announced his endorsement to kind of like thunderous chants of Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. So like Trump supporters are hyped for RFK, and uh, I am not convinced. This is my conspiracy. This is where I put my foil hat on. I'm not convinced they're going to drop Vance from the ticket, drop JD Vance, and put RFK as the vice president. I think that would pretty much clinch their win. Uh,
I think so as well. I think
yeah, I just think that,
or it's
that
gonna
that's
be
just
like literally to the thousand. It's gonna be like down to the last person.
yeah. I just think it's like that's just the obvious choice of like RFK was like a 10% or third party, which is like I think he's the only third party like
Well,
in recent memory to
that
get
was
double
when Joe
digits.
Biden was
Yeah,
running.
I
It
don't
was
have up to
about
date poll numbers.
it was
Yeah.
about nine. I was just watching it earlier
Oh, okay.
today. Well, I was watching Hassan talk about it, and it was 9% for
Yeah.
RFK when Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala started running. I was about to say Hassan started running. When Kamala started running, a lot of those people actually went to her,
Yeah.
and it was about 5%, right?
Mm.
So 4% of and then one of the, from those 4% that left RFK, 3 of them went to her, and 1% went to Trump. Well, he figured I might as well just get him off the
Just get
ballot
him.
and
Yeah.
get that 5%.
Is he off the ballot though? So here's another interesting
He's
point.
on team where
I wrote this. I wrote
yeah.
interesting note. From an AP article, Kennedy took steps to withdraw his candidacy in at least 2 states late this week, Arizona and Pennsylvania. So he won't be on the ballot in those 2 states. But Michigan, Nevada,
Oh.
and Wisconsin, it's too late, and his name will be on the ballot for this November. And I was very curious, how will that impact things? How's that going to play out? Because on the ballot in those key swing states of Michigan, Nevada, and Wisconsin,
So that
it's
means
going to
they
be
know
Trump,
they're
Harris,
yeah.
and RFK on the ballot. And I think he's still fighting that. He's like he has his lawyers trying to fight that, and I have to assume that's at Trump's request because I think if RFK is on the ballot, that pulls votes away from Trump, even if RFK is endorsed
Yeah,
Trump.
because there's swing states.
Yeah, and those are all swing states that are going to be pretty narrow, and that's why I think he might be right with Pennsylvania going to Republicans. But because I kind of think that like, oh no, I think Pennsylvania's going to Republicans, but I think like that's why they need him off the ballot in those states is because
Yeah, Pennsylvania's
Trump
gonna be
supporters
real
and RFK
close.
supporters are very like
Period.
they're a lot of this. There's a lot of overlap between Trump supporters and RFK supporters, and if RFK is still on the ballot, that pulls votes. I mean, RFK is a weird candidate because he does pull votes from both Harris and Trump. Like
Yeah.
some dim liberal type people support RFK, but mostly it's like weird conservative freaks.
Yeah, it's here's the thing about RFK. He's supposed to be this anti-establishment character because he's like, oh, I don't like the Democrats, but I don't know if I'd vote for somebody like Trump. RFK was like a nice in between.
Mm.
But the irony is that RFK comes from an American political dynasty, the
Yeah,
Kennedys.
like the
I
like
mean,
the
this
last
guy is
political
the
dynasty.
quintessential
Yeah,
political establishment. People seem to be forgetting that.
yeah, the whole
And it's
drain
'cause-
the swamp thing. He
yeah.
he is the swamp. Like,
Yeah, and it's just
yeah.
because he's a little kooky and he's fucking anti-medicine. So all those crystal mamas and all
Hmm.
those kooky ass weirdos are anti-vaccine. They're going for him. You know, they don't hate the gays, but they hate the vaccines, and that is their candidate. And so when with RFK coming onto the stage, and that actually might be a good video we could show him too, with him talking to Trump at the rally.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
any footage of that. We could find it later.
yeah.
Yeah.
That he talks about, like, don't you want um, chemicals to get out of your food? Don't you want your kids to be healthy? I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, dude, you look like you're on steroids and you've like sucked in all the cancer from the stage. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
an interesting looking guy.
he's a weird looking guy. But if he becomes the VP of Trump and he's replaced, that could be very dangerous.
Yeah,
for
that
the
could really
Democrats.
open it up.
politically.
Yeah,
For the
because like
Democrats.
JD Vance is like he's like literally dragging the ticket. He's doing nothing to boost it, and he's only dragging it because he's a weird little
And
freak.
he's smart.
Every time he opens his mouth, it's just he says like he puts his foot in his mouth, and it's just he says like weird, like goofy shit. That's just I don't know, awful.
Oh, welcome, actually, RCA member.
Oh shit, yeah,
Welcome in, my guy.
hey,
But so yeah, and so it does look bad to drop a vice presidential candidate, but at the same time, everybody knows why.
yeah, but also like
Everybody
everything
knows
Trump
why.
does looks bad, and nobody seems to give a shit. So like I don't think that's not a factor anymore. I
What
don't
does
think.
Secretary of State? I think honestly, if he didn't replace Vance, I definitely see Trump installing him as like Secretary of Health.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Because
Like,
of
yeah.
vaccines and
So what's his name? What's the fucking position? The Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Make RFK the Surgeon General.
I genuinely think that's where
Yeah.
he would put him, because
Yeah.
that's what he came. His two sentences that he said when he came onto the stage was, "Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of the chemicals in your food?
Yeah.
Don't you want your kids to be
Yeah,
healthy?"
that's what he
And
said. Don't you want your kids to
literally
be
it.
healthy? Yeah.
He does not say anything else, and I'm just like, that sounds like he's installing him into.
Oh, speaking of chemicals in your food,
more, please. I love it.
yeah, we have, you know how we have microplastics in our balls they just found? Well, now there's 100% microplastics in our brain. So,
And
our brains.
that's the microplastics interacting with your brain.
yeah,
As you're talking.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I saw an article,
Yeah.
and it said they discovered about 0.5% of your brain's weight is literally microplastics. So for every 200 pieces of a brain, one of them is plastic.
basically makes me a transformer. I respect that.
you're
Wait, Transformers are metal. That
you're-
makes me the
you're a
action figure.
plastic cyborg.
Yeah.
You're a plastic
man.
cyborg. What does that even be? You're a Timu cyborg.
I'm a Timu Transformer. Transmorphers.
I
I also just found out that Tulsi Gabbard joins the Trump team also.
Well, okay, I was not surprised. She was sucking.
Dude, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard is such a fucking cuck. But like, I was looking, I was like reading a little bit about Tulsi Gabbard, dude. I didn't know that she like. I mean, I knew she left the Democratic Party because she's a sore loser and she kept fucking losing everything she ran for. And then she left the Democratic Party, and she blamed wokeness as to why she became independent. Well, she's now, I guess, like along with RFK, she's officially kind of joined the Trump team.
Dude,
Probably hoping for some kind of
the
position.
quintessential grifter.
Yeah,
But I
just
mean,
a populist. Yeah,
if we were to really look at it, I mean, look at her background. She comes from an affluent Hindu nationalist
cult.
background, basically a cult.
She's in a cult, dude.
Yeah.
She was in a cult. Yeah.
And she's a legit nationalist. She's a Hindu nationalist, and there's no, I mean, that is literally like, she might as well marry Vivek, Ramaswamy.
Vivek rhymes with cake.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, look at that fucking duo.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to explain it to people that, like, with the person like that that's constantly flip flopping on certain ideals. For example, she was for Medicare for all, and then she wasn't. She was for ending the wars, but then was pro staying in Afghanistan or pro Israel. So I'm just like, how do you not see both?
Yeah.
Like, politics are so easy. You could go in politics and be like, I'm going to give all of you money when I get into office. Every single one of you will get $40,000 from me. You would enter into office, never do it, and then they would be like, praise this person.
Yep, it's that easy, man.
Wow, like, it's really easy to obtain power. And so,
Yeah.
but no, I remember about a few months ago, Tulsi Gabbard was literally praising Trump.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
Trump's
I think
policies.
she's just been like kind of just like
So,
nut hugging to get a
Ducky.
like a cabinet position or something,
What
some
was
kind of
that?
position.
Well, he also just wants hot women around, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Sure.
I'll give her that.
I mean,
She's
yeah,
fairly
he is
attractive.
I think creep enough to like
Yeah.
to like go just for that like just if there's an attractive woman he'll
What
just
the
want to
fuck's
be
his name? Oh my god, the fucking grifter that left the Young Turks. He's like,
Jank.
no. Yeah, the Cenk owns Young Turks, pretty much. Um, he was part of the Young Turks, and then he grifted, and he's like, oh, I'm an enlightened centrist, and now he's like a MAGA cultist. Um,
The
he's
only other guy I know.
libertarian.
The only other guy I know, he's like does the movie news now. He used to be part of Young Turks. I forget his name, Ben something. I want to say, but I don't know.
God, what the fuck is his name?
I don't know, man.
He just reminds me of him. Let's see if I can
Dude,
find him.
how do I get rid of this fucking welcome to the live chat? Remember to guard your privacy. Okay, dude, I get it. I don't know, man. Um,
I'll find it later.
yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all I had about RFK. It was just my thoughts are that he's going to
Oh, one more thing.
just campaign around Trump
I
like a
fucking told
barnacle.
you. I literally said it in the very first video we made about RFK. Is this guy is going to endorse Trump?
Oh yeah,
Everybody in the comments was like,
dude, that's what
"You're
we
crazy.
talked
This
about.
guy's the most progressive guy."
The most progressive candidate we'd ever had. He's like like everyone was just like convinced that he was gonna fucking like he's only pulling votes away from Harris. That he's like a liberal. That he's like a progressive. That he's like some fucking progressive icon or whatever.
And
And
lo
like,
and
what the
behold,
fuck are you talking about? He's like, you're an idiot. He's a fucking like conservative freakoid. But also, his wife is pretty pissed apparently because his wife is a long time or lifelong Democrat. She's an actress. She's like, she's in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I never watched it, but she's an actress. His wife, RFK's wife, is an actress,
yeah.
and is like a lifelong like hardcore Democrat apparently. And I guess she was like, she's furious and like is like deeply uncomfortable or something. I forget what she actually said, but she's like not happy that her husband endorsed Trump. So I'm like, that's pretty funny. But also, he seems like he probably wouldn't be a great husband. So
Yeah, no.
yeah. Because he's a fucking little weirdo. Oh, there was also I did not have time to look this up, and so I'm just going to talk about it.
It would have been fucking great if you brought a steak to the fucking.
Well, you know what he did recently though? Another story came out, not unlike the fucking dead bear. Is
There's
he like
another dead animal.
yeah, he like beheaded a whale apparently.
Wait,
I keep hearing these things and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on with RFK, man? No, so like yeah,
This
I actually
man did what?
I
You
saw
what? He did just dive in like Mermaid
no,
Man
dude,
and
I
just
don't know.
catch
Hold
a
on.
whale and just like sawing it off like a fucking sociopath. This is like episode of Dexter. Like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so environmental groups. Okay, hold on.
What are you doing, my guy?
This is from
What are you
yesterday. Oh no, this is from 2 days ago. Environmental group asks federal agency to investigate RFK Jr. for allegedly strapping severed wellhead to roof of car in the 1990s. Every time I fucking Google RFK, it's some more like bizarro shit like this, dude.
Bro, oh my god.
He's such a fucking freak.
My dude must have been like just chowing lead chips as like a little
I
as a
love
young...
RFK so goddamn much. He's just a source of constant joy in my life. It's just every time
This guy's like crushing lead
Yeah.
paint and just like snorting.
I was like on my way to work and I heard like it was like on the radio it was just like something about RFK like with a severed whale head and I was just like I don't have time for this right now. Like RFK, calm down. I got to get to work. I don't have time for your shenanigans right now. It was just, dude, I don't know. And I forgot to. That was a couple days ago. Yeah, that was on Tuesday, and I forgot to circle back to that story, and I just remembered it right now.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So I have no other details except for a headline that RFK is apparently being investigated for strapping a severed whale head to his roof of his car in the 1990s. It comes after Kennedy admitted he put a dead bear cub in Central Park. So just
is this not like the quintessential acts of a sociopath?
this guy's a fucking freak, dude.
Bro,
like
I swear this guy's killed somebody. Like I'm just saying. Like
look at his eyes, dude. He's killed somebody. Like no, not a question. Yeah.
Maybe he just found some dead body and put it on the top of his car. That seems what his fucking... I don't know what the hell that's all about.
From Kick Kennedy, which I assume is his son, who was 6 at the time,
Who the fuck names your son Kick?
I don't know, man. Told the outlet, quote, every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour onto the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us.
What? Oh my god! This is your guy?
This is your guy, man.
This is your one?
I love RFK so much in his weird little mind.
Fucking plastic wrappings around their head with mouth holes.
Oh my god, I love this family so
That's
much.
Daddy!
That's the great American political dynasty, right there, folks.
Oh,
good
man.
stuff, man. Anyway, RFK.
I'm making a whole fucking
Oh yeah, oh that's got to be a whole video. Yeah.
Every week.
Every week there's a fucking RFK update. I love him so much.
Oh, Jesus
cool.
Christ. Okay.
Cool. Good stuff, man. Well, that's all the domestic news I had. We've been going for almost an hour. That's the only domestic news I have. So now, kind of, here's our main story. And
we haven't
got to like the main story, which this is new. This is just as of yesterday, and then there was another update I just was reading as of a couple hours ago. But yeah, Israel has now kind of finally invaded West Bank. It's finally happened. We predicted this like early on. It was that they're going to use the Gazan genocide as an excuse, or this like lockdown on terror. They're going to use that as an excuse to just seize the rest of land in West Bank. I mean, they own 60% of the land in West Bank isn't even Palestinian. It's under Israeli
illegal settlements.
Another 20% is like jointly settled with some Palestinians, and then like the remaining 20% is like Palestinian. So like of the West Bank, which is like supposedly Palestinians, like a Palestinian territory, they only have 20% of it to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's not. So anyway, we had speculated a long time ago that eventually, I think at least a dozen episodes ago, that they were going to use this as just a predicate to just to a prelude to just invade, and it looks like they finally did. There was a series of like dozens of airstrikes and actual military ground incursions into the West Bank. Multiple firefights have been reported, and I have more details later. But if you want to, if you had something.
Well, I was just gonna say, I was talking to my lady earlier today, and we were talking about this specific thing that was going on, and I was basically telling her, is like, hey, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but basically any type of like major event that happens in the U.S. or in Europe, they use that as like a cover to do things, to do certain strikes, to do certain special invasions or whatever, special missions. And I remember one time there was like I think they bombed one of the refugee camps in Gaza, and this was during the Super Bowl. So while everybody was watching the fucking Super Bowl.
We talked about that.
Yeah. Everybody's watching the fucking Super Bowl. They like did an incursion. I remember I can't remember. There's multiple things that have happened over the past, I mean, even fucking decade, but over the past year, that was something major happens in the U.S. or Europe, and everybody's paying attention to that, and they would turn around like, while nobody's looking, we do fucking shady shit, we do illegal shit, we do fucked up things, and we're gonna get less media exposure.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't even hear about this until today.
Yeah.
I heard about this like on my drive home from work today, and it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Or it happened, I think, like late Tuesday night our time. It was like overnight Tuesday our time. But like this wasn't on like any of my news radar.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I think it was kind of
and this is like actually kind of a huge deal.
Yeah, and it kind of it goes back to like what I was talking with my girlfriend. She's saying that like I'm looking things up about Palestine, and it's almost as if Google is like nullifying and suppressing like what I'm looking for.
I don't doubt that's true. It wasn't Zuck just in front of like Congress again about like meta suppression shit. What? Yeah. I don't know the details of that, so I can't maybe I can't speak to that. But I think he was just in front of Congress again talking about like election interference and like suppression again. Because like it's not a secret that like these big tech industries are like suppressing and like kind of manipulating the results that you get. That's how internet algorithmic like searches work. And I think that like they can easily turn off the faucet on certain things that they just don't want you to see, which is like pretty scary. It's also why like independent journalists and like finding like Telegram channels and stuff that like and getting and I think Islamic Socialist is a really good source for this if you're interested out there, dear listeners and dear viewers. Islamic Socialist is a really good source for this because him and his like kind of network stay up to date on like a lot of like
more minute
just
details.
news, and they're kind of more included into like the more independent side of the journals. But I digress.
Hmm.
To your point, I think you're totally right. I think like this does definitely off my radar, or not put on my
Yeah,
radar.
and I think this is just a start. They they by when I'm saying they, I mean the Israeli state has stated that it's going to take a few weeks to complete the special operation,
Yeah, I have some
which
quotes
means they're
about
going to
that. Yeah,
which means they're going to be taking longer than actually stated. So do not take anything they say to be fact.
yeah.
And what I think is going to happen is this is going to be pushed, and this is they're going to occupy West Bank, at least those parts of West Bank that they are currently in now, with this special operation, and they're going to be there until election day. And on election day, or the day before, or the day
When
after,
the news is
they're going to
distracted,
fucking
they're
do
gonna
a
hit them hard.
big, big,
Well,
big, big.
I don't know because like I don't know if like well let me see talk about what I have here. So
Mm-hmm.
there was multiple air raids and airstrikes that were very coordinated. There were like drones, airstrikes, ground forces, and then like demolition crews that kind of all rolled in at multiple like points in a couple different cities. The cities of Jenin and Tulkarm. Tulkarm. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. They're doing what was been described as a Gaza style operation, which I think means like this kind of ground invasion where you push kind of street to street, house to house type situation. And there have been reports, and this is kind of where it gets a little more like sinister, of bulldozers have been seen kind of destroying
Yeah,
homes and
what do you need
destroying streets
bulldozers for?
because they want to build. It's they got to get Remax in there and build settler land on it, right?
Yeah,
Because
no,
this is
exactly.
Palestinian land. It's some of the very little Palestinian land left, and so this is just predicated on an ethnic cleansing
Yeah,
campaign. That's it's
I was just trying to throw out there like to people like if you're reading this and it says that they have bulldozers coming in for a special operation,
yeah.
what the fuck do you think that
Yeah,
means?
like
There's no reason to
open your eyes
have
to what that actually
bulldozers.
means. Like,
If
yeah,
they need to blow something up, if they need to remove something, they have
yeah,
missiles, they have drone strikes, they have mines, they have mortar strikes, they have whatever you need. A bulldozer is for one thing, pushing something
yeah. Forced
that way,
displacement. Yeah.
right?
So here's the other side of that forced displacement coin. Right, is you have yes the ethnic cleansing like act of forced displacement and destroying homes. That's one half of this coin. The other half is that they're intentionally targeting hospitals and medical facilities. This is a quote from a CNN article. Quote: Israeli forces have besieged several medical facilities in Jenin and obstructed the movement of ambulances. And another quote. Quote in a statement, the ministry, and this is the Palestinian Ministry of Health. The ministry said Israeli forces blocked roads to Ibn Sina Hospital with mounds of dirt, surrounded the government hospital in Jenin, and besieged the Red Crescent Society and the Patient Friends Society. So they're intentionally targeting hospitals and blocking access, like egress and whatever, into and out of hospitals. So you have on one hand they're bulldozing houses and like clearing streets, and on the other hand they're like intentionally targeting and limiting access to hospitals and blocking access to hospitals. These are like two of like the like four like requirements of an ethnic cleansing campaign.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
so like it's just so
gonna make it more
it
obvious.
like it
Was
could not be more obvious like what they're actually doing. And then also there's reports, widespread reports of like what are essentially what I've described in my own words as pogroms taking place against Palestinians by settlers. And this is not new. Israeli settlers have been like conducting like pogroms against and if you're unfamiliar with the word, it's actually was used by like Central European and Eastern European non-Jews, kind of like targeting Jewish settlements and like basically like raids on Jewish settlements and targeting Jewish-owned businesses and like burning houses and killing Jews in the streets. It's just, pogrom is just basically like attacking Jews. So like that's essentially what's taking place here in reverse. You have these groups of these Israeli Jewish settlers that are going in like pitchfork, torch, Frankenstein's monster style bands in the middle of the night, just mobbing around and just attacking Palestinians. And apparently, the Israeli government has like denounced these as like unacceptable violence, but they keep apologizing that they never get there in time to stop it, and that's like something
yeah,
that's been a line
oh
they use.
yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, I'm sure that's intentional.
oh
I'm sure
yeah.
it's just an accident that you didn't get there in time to stop this. So that's been taking place. It's just been a kind of a very obvious.
Also, who the fuck believes anything the fucking Israeli state
Yeah,
says?
so they said 600 people, supposedly 650, have been killed in the West Bank since October 7th. So since this new kind of like heightened push of violence between,
So in the past year, 2 people have died per day
yeah,
in a place that's not
but
even
I will
Gaza.
say over a quarter of those are children. So like over 150 of those are children.
Jesus
So and
Christ.
that's in West Bank. So like how are children dying in West Bank if not like intentionally? Because there's no like fighting in the West Bank like there is in Gaza, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just this is starting again, and I think this is not gonna stop. And like so, this is now just a second front. Well, I guess technically a third front. And there's been a lot of outcry. Like the Al Quds network has come out like pretty strong, saying like, well, okay, now like we this cannot stand. So like they're gonna come out strong. But a lot of and Hamas has said like has kind of like put out this call the Gazan Hamas like network has kind of put out this call of like now is the time. Like if you are an Arab ally, like
Now's the time to
we
stand
need
up.
help. Like
Yeah.
because this is like cause like this is kind of the last straw. Is like Gaza was under siege. It is under siege, and then like that was what it was. And then now Israel has basically just like invaded and is about to do a second genocide campaign in the West Bank.
Yeah,
And
this is
so
the very
like
beginning to it.
this is
This
like
is
this is the
like them
beginning of
coming.
the
They're
end.
they're
Yeah,
coming in. They're setting up, and
yeah,
then, like I said,
yeah.
in my theory is that on election day, the day before or the day after,
As they just
they're gonna do a
pull the
massive
trigger on
like,
it.
yep.
Yeah, and so like Hamas is kind of basically saying like, as I understood their kind of messaging of like this is the beginning of the end. Like if you're gonna, it's kind of go time right now.
Yeah.
Like if you're in it, it's time to get in it.
Yeah.
And I think my speculation, just my understanding of kind of following this fairly closely for a year now, is I think like if Iran, if Yemen, if the Al Quds, if anybody was ever going to do something, I think it has to be now, and I think we
Yeah.
might see some movement because this is happening as of a couple. So they've admitted that they. Oh, and I should say that Israel Katz, the minister of the Israeli defense minister, I think he is. Whatever, he's the guy who's basically been like lying about the genocide in Gaza this whole time. He has a couple just like bizarre quotes about this, saying
By the way, welcome in Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network.
oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, awesome.
How you doing, guy?
Yeah, how's it going? So yeah, Israel Katz. I mean, he's the guy who's been saying a whole bunch of bullshit, but he's basically saying that this has all been staged to quote thwart the Islamic Iranian terrorist infrastructure because he thinks that the Iranians are
Yeah.
like staging in West Bank. Like the West Bank is like it's the weapons of mass destruction 2001 like
I was about
in
to say
West
that
Bank.
is like the quintessential like Western American.
That's why I literally
propaganda.
just wrote Cat's quote in the notes because I was like reading this and I was like getting frustrated. Claiming that Iran was working to establish an eastern front against Israel. We must deal with the threat just as we deal with the terrorist infrastructure in Gaza, including the temporary evacuation of Palestinian residents and whatever steps are required. So temporary evacuation of Palestinians. So now they're saying
Permanent. It's
yeah. So now they're saying that we need to evacuate the Palestinians from their own land. Us, the settlers, need to push them out of land. It's for their own safety. Though. It's for their own
It's
safety.
for their safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is a quote. This is a war for all terms and purposes, and we must win it. And I think that's just more coded language in support of a genocide now.
This is
Opening up a
literally
second genocide
Iraq.
in West Bank.
This
Yeah,
is what Iraq, except
yeah,
Israel
and they
just turned
claim
around
they
and did
killed.
it to
They claim
West
they
Bank.
killed more militants today. There was an AP article I was reading just before we started recording, just before we went live, and it was saying that more militants were successfully killed. They just announced it was there. I forget his name. He was Muhammad or Abu. Fuck, he was like a Hamas leader that was claimed to be killed earlier on, and then he showed up at a funeral and like was alive.
Surprise,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
kind of. And apparently he was like a folk hero, and then like so I guess
Yeah.
people were like carrying him on his shoulders and chanting his name, and he's like this
Yeah.
folk hero. And then they actually apparently killed him today. And so
Well,
like
that's fucking
he
sad.
was one of the militants that was killed today in the West Bank, and I guess he was a Hamas militant that was like chilling in the West Bank. This is all
Yeah.
what the IDF reports. So like,
and also we're
who
still
knows?
waiting for that fucking Iran retaliation.
yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. I
Do
think
you think that's actually going to happen?
I mean, not. I don't.
It's kind of
I
late
think
at this point.
if it had happened, if it was going to happen, it would have happened. You're talking about for the assassination of
Yeah.
what's his face? Yeah, I think if it were going to happen, it would have happened. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to invite any of these people on the live? I mean, we're just chatting at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does anybody want to cup up?
If anybody wants to come on, just ping us in there, and well, how would we? We'd have to set up a whole thing. We could figure it out.
We can hear their voice.
It would just be voice, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of forgot where I was at, but I was going to talk about the ICJ and the UN. Guterres, the leader, the Security General Secretary of the UN, more just toothless bullshit about like, you know, we condemn this, but did not actually do anything about it. I guess a lot of people. I actually didn't see any Anthony Blinken news of like America's Secretary of State. I didn't actually look for it, but in all the articles I was reading, I didn't see.
You don't really really have to look for it. You can kind of just guess.
You
what
can probably
the
just guess what he's going to say.
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
able to say like, well, we don't want, well, we don't approve of or whatever. They have a right to defend themselves. Um, yeah, and apparently the Palestinian Authority is the government in the West Bank. I was reading a little bit about them. They're not very liked. They've been kind of capitulated and seen as kind of like a puppet. It's almost like a Vichy France type thing.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like I get it if you're in a position of like just extreme like
I
oppression and
God, I
what do
don't
you
know if
do?
I don't know if I should say this.
What are you gonna say? Careful.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I don't
So
know what
like
you're gonna say.
it's you know back in like pre-Civil War in the U.S.
Sure.
you had the house slave, and then you had the like the outdoor slave,
Sure.
right? And the house slave kind of had like more rights. He was kind of like pampered a little bit more. Does that make any sense?
I know what you're talking about. I think
Right?
I know where you're going, but I don't know if that's a one for one
I wouldn't.
analogy. I don't know if that's a great analogy.
I don't
But
think it's a great analogy. That's why I stopped myself.
yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of like in the West Bank. Like if you don't do anything, if you don't like,
You can kind
if you don't intervene with our
yeah.
process in
Speak when
Gaza,
spoken to type thing. Yeah.
you will survive.
Yeah, I see what
We'll
you're saying.
let
Yeah,
we'll let you live.
you think it's like if they just kind of keep their heads down, maybe they can get by.
Exactly. And
Yeah. I don't
now
know.
I think they're gonna see that was wrong. That was just making them stall, so they don't get in the way. Because now Gaza is basically obliterated. Now you're next.
Yeah.
They fucked up.
Yeah. Hi,
Uh,
Craig. Well, it's nice to chat with you. This is Tyler. I'm Tyler. Hi. How's it going on?
I'm actually John Adam.
John Smith.
No, was it from God from SpongeBob?
I
He
never
was
watched
number
SpongeBob.
one. You never? Oh,
Dude, I don't watch SpongeBob, man.
no, not even when you were younger.
No, my wife watches SpongeBob currently.
He
I
was
find it.
number one, and John Hammer, Sprinkle Schmidt, or something
I
like that.
find
I
it
don't know.
fucking insufferable.
Really?
And
Oh,
my students, my kids, like fucking love it. Not my
I
kids,
love
my
it.
students love
I
SpongeBob.
think I was like yeah.
Not my kids,
No,
my students. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think it was very iconic. Modern day SpongeBob is garbage. Like
I,
they,
yeah.
but the old school SpongeBob, a lot of adult jokes. The
Yeah, I
sequel,
mean, I've seen some of the stuff. I've seen some of the memes. I'm just not familiar. You know,
yeah, no, it's great, man. There's a saying. There's if you can find a meme for any situation for anything from SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Okay, I
Yeah.
believe the same is true of Seinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or The Simpsons.
Yeah, sure. The Simpsons. I stopped watching The Simpsons around like season 10 though, which was
I
20 years ago.
I've seen like a few episodes here and there and like clips.
Okay.
I never was like an avid.
I was a pretty hardcore Simpsons head. I used to watch Fox on Sunday nights. I would watch Simpsons and The X Files.
See, I love Family Guy. I'm a big Family
Okay.
Guy guy.
I was never super into Family Guy.
I love Family Guy. I
Yeah.
love like the absolute ridiculousness of it at
Yeah.
certain points. The newer episodes are kind of garbaggio, but anything from like
I don't really like Seth MacFarlane, dude.
really
Like, I don't like American Dad. I don't like.
American Dad's garbage. I don't like
Yeah.
watching that. But for Family Guy specifically, I like Family Guy
Okay.
a lot.
All right.
Season 3 to like 14, and after that, it was,
I only saw like the first season, I think, or something.
oh, that's a garbage season. It was like the very first season. The
Yeah, I
animation
don't
was garbage.
I don't know, man.
Anything from season 3, a lot of political jokes. It's great.
Okay.
Dude, they did 9/11 jokes.
I was about to say I'll check it out. I'm not gonna check it out. I have no free time, dude. I have so
Yeah.
much homework I have to be doing right now. I have so many papers to grade. You know how many papers on Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation I'm not grading right now that I should be grading? This is my life,
We
dude.
could talk about Martin Luther right now while you're grading the
Dude.
papers.
Oh my god, we moved on to Hobbs and Locke. That's our next unit we're working on right now. These kids, so like
We'll do a live podcast for your kids. They can tune in every single week.
some of them listen.
Yeah.
I have a couple of students that listen like every week, which is fucking. I hate it. Stop listening. You know who you are.
Hey, you can listen. Just don't say fucking. Don't say shit. Don't say
To
shit.
you listening right now, you know who you are.
Don't say shit.
Stop.
Don't get this old man fired.
Old SpongeBob is legit. I don't think I'd get fired, dude. I don't know. We had a family night last night, like our open house.
How'd that go?
It's fine, dude. I schmooze. I schmooze like a motherfucker. I'm the best schmoozer. Like I'm so good at mingling and like schmoozing parents and stuff. I can talk to
This
like,
guy's great in the meanwhile in the back.
Yeah. I mean I don't want to say too much, but like I don't want to dox myself. But yeah, no, I'm really good with like parents and like
yeah.
I like those kind of events. I think it's fun.
Did you tell them that you were fucking radical commie pig
Communist?
that needs to be executed?
No.
No.
No. In fact, my classroom is like pretty. I stay pretty ethically like within the bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like-
have to. You have to.
It's frustrating sometimes because we'll be talking about like Hobbes and Locke and like the nature of democracy and like the Enlightenment, and I want
The
to
nature of democracy.
yeah, and I want to go off, but I'm like, that's not what I'm here to do. You know, it's fine. But I mean, but I don't like when we talk about communism. I'm like, they know. I'm like, this shit's dope. Yeah,
Loki, guys, this shit's
low key
bomb.
goes. Well, I'm like, well, also like here's the thing: if you accurately define communism, you accurately define capitalism. It's like they're young children or youngish children. They're high school age, but like they are not dumb.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
sounds obviously way better than the other, and they're like, oh yeah, we picked that one. That one's better for people.
Yeah,
And like yeah,
free healthcare.
yeah, like oh
Yeah,
everyone has
schools free.
education and healthcare and their needs taken care of. Yeah, that one's better. So yeah,
You what's it called? You have more workplace power. Oh, they wouldn't know that too much.
yeah. It's actually the hardest part is kind of conveying to like somebody who doesn't even have a driver's license yet, like the idea of state ownership versus private ownership, because like they've never had a
Yeah,
business, they don't have anything from the state, they never had any kind of like court documents or whatever. And that's usually my analogy is like a driver's license, right? Like you don't get your driver's license from Target or Walmart, you get it from the state. And it's like just imagine if that was transferred to like your groceries you also got from the state. Like there wasn't a private company competing companies, you just got it from a state or like from from the government, like a nationalized thing. Like what if your car was nationalized or like airlines were nationalized? And I can point to like Aeroflot and Lada and whatever like of these examples of
hold
nationalized.
up, bro. I don't want my fucking shoes made by the government, man.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, why wouldn't you? Who gives a shit? That's the thing, is then
But
that
what
gets
about
into personal.
Jordans, bro?
There you go. That gets into like this individualism and personal,
Yeah.
like personal choice and
What
stuff.
about?
And I'm like,
I'm like, oh man, I need my fucking
but my counter to
my
that,
my Yeezys, bro. No,
inevitably somebody will say that, and then my counter to that is like, well, would you rather be able to like choose what type of shoe you have, or like everyone can get their like cavities filled, like,
yeah,
and it's like, well, like that's a choice you have to make, and like if you want to say like, well, I'd rather have the choose, then it's like that's a valid opinion, I guess, but like when you put it that way, it's like, oh, well, that means I'm selfish, and it's like, well, yeah, that's like what capitalists are. It's like
yeah.
selfish, and it's like,
They just pure
yeah,
selfish.
if you like really just like break it down to its simplest forms, it's a very easy choice. Like, and any ninth grader sees that, and that's why I kind of have hope for the future.
But they think like, for example, if we had like, well, if we're talking about shoes and be like, oh, the government makes all of our shoes, and they think everybody has the same exact shoe. You're like,
Yeah,
I am sure the government would make 150 different types of shoes.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if they. I mean, so that's the thing is like, I don't know if they would, because like that's inefficient, and like it depends on your government efficiency. And like there isn't multiple different types of like driver's licenses, right? Like there's just a
Yeah, but a
driver's license.
driver's license, a shoe breaks off in like 6 months. You got to get
Yeah,
a new one.
yeah. I guess
You
like
know.
the an equivalent is like the different types of license plates you can get. Like you can
But
get
that's
like
what was nice with
yeah,
the Michael Parenti.
mm,
What he was talking about chapter 3 and 4
yeah.
is like he starts
I'm not
talking
there yet.
about like the whole idea. Well, like a lot of these people were not happy with the commodity, with the commodity and the goods that they were getting. They're complaining about it, like, oh, we don't have the Japanese tech.
Yeah,
We don't have this. I'm like, we don't have the American genes. We have like the Russian genes or whatever. Like, okay, you don't. You also have the availability for a doctor at any point in time.
yeah,
You also have free education. You also have every
yeah. Like
basic human right.
like house security, food
Yeah,
security, like literacy rates, child infant mortality rates. Like it's just like yeah,
and
the stats are in limitless.
yeah, and he
Yeah,
also points out that like a lot of them, a lot. One of the biggest problems was they're like, dude, the revolution, that was like grandpa's thing,
mm,
like whatever. The revolution happened, it's history. Like, I don't care anymore, right? So a lot of these people, like growing up in the 70s and 80s in the USSR and Yugoslavia, blah blah blah, they like the revolution was like 70 years ago. They didn't care. It was history. It's kind of like when kids these days, like, I don't want to learn about history, but I don't give
yeah.
a fuck.
That's my
Like, I
struggle.
just want to go hang out with, play skate with my friends.
Yeah,
And they just don't care about Marxist theory. They don't care about communism. They want like nice things. They want like, oh, why don't we get like those shoes? Why don't we get? And then when the USSR fell apart
yeah,
and they came to the point of realization, like, I can get these nice things now, but I can't say shit to my boss no more.
yeah,
And if I'm late, there's like really bad like things that happen. I could lose my job and be homeless.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, and it's just like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of what we were talking about at the very beginning. Is like, yeah, that idea of like taking it for granted and not recognizing like what a gift it is. Yeah, that's why I really
exactly,
want to go to Cuba and just like live in that for a second.
yeah.
Yeah,
And well, a lot of people apparently like that are this generation of Cuban immigrants, and this was what Parenti was saying
yeah,
is a lot of them. It's not that they don't care, but it's also that they're not grateful for what they have right now because they never had anything else,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And it's kind of like the same way in American culture. They don't know what communism is. It sounds crazy because they don't. They're
Yeah.
not exposed to anything
Yeah, I
else.
just kind of imagine like the collective like sigh of relief if like you're just like if you had food security or housing security, right? Like if Americans all of a sudden had those kind of securities, like just that weight that would be lifted, or that ball of stress that wouldn't be in your shoulders, like yeah, it's like why? What is the stat that like black women like have like a significantly like lower life expectancy than like a white woman, for example, is because of like it's and the
Quality of
reason
food.
for that is like no, well that, but also just specifically, I think is attributed to like stress levels of like
Yeah.
living life as a black woman is like just significantly harder
Oh
day to
yeah, in a
day,
general
just in a
sense,
general
yes,
sense.
one
So like
hundred
you just
percent.
it's just heightened levels of like that like cortisol or stress or whatever that like just leads to like health degradation and deterioration over the span of a lifetime. Is you lose years because of that. And it's like how that's why life expectancy fucking skyrocketed in China and Russia post the revolution in both those countries of like by like tripling like or like doubling life
Because
expectancy.
what was that like? It's a whole psychological pyramid, whole psychology pyramid, where just like when you to be happy or to be mentally stable, you need to like the very bottom essence of like
Oh, Maslow's hierarchy
shelter.
of needs. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
You like the shelter, food, and then
yeah.
after that is like commodities like clothing,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. Well, it's like in a
And then
communist
the top
state,
is like
you have all of
psychological. Yeah,
that, and then you have like on the very top is
like
what?
psychological, like love and yeah, and
Yeah,
friendship and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Well,
I
was it
think.
this? I know that was the one right before.
I don't remember the full thing.
It's the third or one right before the top. Anyways, the commodities and shit is like just the very top.
Yeah.
It's like the very tippy top. It's like 10%
Oh,
of the
like
whole
luxury
pyramid.
goods. You're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
luxury goods. Like, oh, you're getting things that you want to get, like a nice car or whatever.
Let's see. I got it here. Oh, what the fuck? It took me to an Amazon link of a poster. The fuck, dude. God damn, I hate capitalism. Physiological needs. It's at the bottom. Breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. Safety and security is next. Health, employment, property, family, and social ability. Love and belonging is third, or third up. Friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection. Fourth is self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual, and then finally is self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance. So like actually luxury goods aren't on this list,
Yeah, not at all.
and like that makes sense because like you don't need that to survive. That has no like actual bearing on your happiness or your like life longevity. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just make the argument for like the arts and goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was it? The very top one?
The very top one is just self-actualization. So creativity, spontaneity, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. So like I think like being able to live a
Or that's like
fulfilled
I
life.
think that would be under hobbies.
Yeah, I mean, 100% like
Yeah,
painting and
and
just like
a lot of
yeah.
hobbies cost money, and
Oh, sure, yeah,
and then like are certain things like a lot of people like cars.
yeah,
So if everybody had like the same car from the same company, I could see where that could be a possible problem. But I feel like a lot of that could be thwarted with like I guess trade within different communist countries. And it's like, oh, you don't want the USSR car? Sure, we can get you a Yugoslavian car, or we can get you a fucking I don't know, a North Korean car.
I want a lot of so bad though.
Oh, dude, a lot of those are so cool.
Yeah,
I want a Yugo or a Zastava.
yeah,
Those things are fucking beautiful. But the Yugo, like fucking the body, the frame of that rusts so easily.
yeah. I mean, like
Uh,
they're not great cars, I guess,
but
but
I can find one in Bosnia for like 1,000 and ship it over.
yeah,
But anyways, but yeah, again, these things that a lot of the people in the USSR and Yugoslavia took for granted, a lot of those things are like that very tip of the hierarchy of goods, like hobbies and stuff, like things that you want to do. But like goods like I don't know what kind of luxury car you don't need that,
mm.
right? You don't need that. That because what that does, it creates class, it creates status, and that divides people. It creates class based upon materials because say a nicer car like a Mercedes or like a really nice Mercedes and this other person has a Yugo, you're already putting like differential between who you are, and that is going to sort of like deconstruct like a stateless and a classless society, and that was the whole point. Everybody gets the same thing because if everybody gets the same thing, we kind of fucking fix this bullshit about human greed. We're overcoming so-called human nature,
Yeah.
right? But that is one thing I do like that Yugoslavia did, because they were neither part of NATO or the Warsaw Pact.
Yeah.
They had the ability to travel and buy goods from other countries. So like, if you really wanted fucking Levi's jeans,
Yeah.
just take a train
You
to
can just
Italy and just buy
head
Levi's
over.
jeans and come back.
Yeah.
Sure, but it's like we also offer you Yugoslavian jeans for a fifth of the
For
price.
fraction of the cost.
So
Yeah.
like, who gives
That's funny.
a fuck?
That reminds me of something.
If you really want to go
sort
out of your way and like spend all of your hard-earned money for no fucking reason for stupid Levi's jeans, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, what I see some of the kids at the school I work at, like the clothes they're wearing and how much like they're like how like proud they are of like their fucking whatever their jeans are called. I forget what the jeans are called, but like $400 jeans or whatever.
That's
And I'm
fucking
just like
absurd.
fucking insane, dude. And like the new
I
like
have Old Navy jeans for the past 7 years that were $25.
I will admit I buy a Levi 511s. I get them at Ross and they're like $20.
Yeah, but even if you got them at Levi's, they're still like $50.
Yeah, you
It's
can get
still
them on
just nice
Amazon for
jeans.
like $40. Yeah, and I have a few pair. I have like a cartoon character. I wear basically the same like Western style shirt and the same Levi's every day.
They're nothing crazy. They're just
Yeah,
standard jeans.
yeah. And then
Old Navy jeans are garbage.
yeah, I used to wear Walmart jeans, but they were garbage, so I stopped wearing them.
Because in the long run, with Old Navy jeans, I got big thighs. So basically, what happens is I rub the inside of my thighs, and all of it like literally falls apart. Like the material literally falls apart and have holes.
Yeah.
So I would waste more money buying 3 pairs of Old Navy jeans than buying 1 pair of Levi's and not have that happen. So it just makes more sense. Like you're buying them because they're good quality and they're reasonably priced.
Yep.
But
sure.
when anything past $50-$60 for jeans, that's just for status. There's zero reason. The material does not become better. It's just for branding.
Sorry, I was reading anything about Michael Prenti.
No.
You mentioned Yugoslavia and NATO and that that split or that ability, and that reminded me. There was a quick. We were talking about Prenti earlier, and during his years in Vermont, Parenti became good friends with Bernie Sanders. However, the two men later split over Sanders' support for the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. So I guess Bernie Sanders supported the Yugoslavian NATO bombing, and that's why Michael Parenti was like,
I do too. I do too.
You support the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the context. A lot of leftists fucking piss me off with this shit. They're like, oh yeah, well NATO's so bad they bomb. NATO's fucking garbage. Do not get me fucking wrong. NATO is garbage. It's Western propaganda. It's just Western imperialism.
Nice.
However, what Yugoslavia was in 1999 wasn't Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia, the only countries that were left at that point was literally Serbia and Montenegro. They just didn't want to get rid of the name. It's kind of like Nazis who are National Socialists. They weren't actually Yugoslavia at that point was not the United Southern Slavs.
Okay.
They weren't even a socialist country anymore. That same Yugoslavia literally killed other people inside the country because of nationalism.
I love how, first of all, how knowledgeable you are about Yugoslavian politics and how passionate you are about Yugoslavian politics. That's my favorite thing about you, I think.
Well, just nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
It pisses me off. And it's like I see a lot of leftists be like, well, NATO shouldn't have bombed them. I'm like, NATO bombed them because they were literally ethnically cleansing other people in the area.
Interesting.
It had nothing to do with them being socialist. In fact, they weren't socialist. Once Bosnia and Croatia left in 93, that wasn't Yugoslavia anymore. It was literally just Serbia and Montenegro left, and they didn't want Yugoslavia to fall apart because in the late 80s and 90s, Yugoslavia, all the power was in Serbia. Because when Tito died, they basically changed how the country was, the power in the country was held. Because each country had one vote of what was going to happen. They basically voted like state. Every state had one vote for like a national law.
We gotta do that Yugo episode, man.
Yeah. But Serbia basically controlled Montenegro. They controlled Vojvodina, which was like a province of Serbia now, but they're kind of their own people. And they controlled Kosovo. So they controlled 4 out of the 8 states.
Yeah.
So whatever Serbia wanted, those other 3. So if they can just convince one other country to vote, they had all the power.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody left Yugoslavia, is because after Tito died, the whole thing, all the nationalists were left out of the gulag.
Yeah.
We had what was called Goli Otok, which means naked island. And the Bosnian nationalists were there, the Croatian nationalists were there, and the Serbian nationalists were there.
Okay.
Well, that Serbian nationalist Milosevic came out and became president of Yugoslavia.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then he basically funded arms and weapons for the Serbs in Bosnia to massacre us. And then he was the president of Yugoslavia. I'm like, you can't have a right-wing nationalist
Yeah.
as the president of a socialist country. That's not a socialist country anymore. They just by
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, just keeping the name, the legacy name.
Exactly. So when people are like, oh, NATO bombed Yugoslavia, like, no, they bombed Serbia. They just didn't change their name by then.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same idea of like the whole like the Hitler hanging on to like the Aryan like that like legacy of this like
Yeah.
this fantasy of like what was, you know, this like German bloodline, this like that goes back 1,000 years or whatever. Yeah, it's the same idea of like stirring up national pride based on a lie, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, I don't know, man. And and a lot of people don't like Bosnian Muslims because they thought we were pro NATO,
Mm.
but really we were just trying to survive.
Yeah.
NATO was just happened to be Bill Clinton just happened to be there to Bill Clinton. We actually started pushing back all of the Serbians and retaking back the country, and that's when they forced us to sign the Dayton Agreement.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So we've been threatening a Yugoslavian episode because it's fascinating how much you know and how much I don't know about this history. So
yeah, I still don't know that much. Like, there's so much.
we should
to it.
we should put that like seriously put
Yeah.
that on the list, man, of like something we should like make a priority to do soon because it's fast. I mean,
I'm down. We could
yeah,
just do it on the side, just for
Yeah.
hell. It doesn't even have to be an episode. It could just be
just a little
video
thing.
we made.
Yeah, just a video.
By the way, actually, RCA member
saw that,
says
yeah.
restocked at L Navy yesterday. 6 pairs of boxers and 6 pairs of socks. $69.
That seems like a lot, but it's I recognize as a guy who buys boxers sometimes that isn't that much.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, not always. You're just going commando at her.
No, but I mean, like sometimes I have to restock boxers, and I recently did at Ross actually. So I just shop at Ross. I get boxers and socks at Ross, and they're considerably cheaper, but they're still like kind of expensive. Boxers and socks are expensive, and I wear white undershirts a lot of times too, and so like those are expensive too.
Undershirts.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, it's that Balkan. And
yeah, the Balkan in you.
But it feels
Yeah.
nice. It feels nice. I don't have to touch any of the fabric from the shirt. The fabric from tank tops and undershirts are really comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's underwear for your top part, you know.
Yeah, underwear for your top part.
Yeah,
I like that.
Underwear for your top part, basically.
Voices from the left just said, "I love that setup. The decor looks great." Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We've worked hard on painting the room and setting it up. We're just in my dank basement. I'm pretty sure my dog's just peed in the corner, but
We're in the commie bunker.
Yeah, the commie bunker.
But we're still not done yet. We still have some things to do.
Yeah, we want to get another row of paintings or these like I made these like portrait bust things. We want to add like another 6 row below it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have like Castro.
I have one of Tito, Castro.
Who else did we want? I know we wanted
We
more.
want to do Che maybe.
Yeah, Che Guevara.
Who else?
Sankara.
Sankara for sure.
There was one more that we wanted to do.
Engels.
Engels.
Oh, Engels. Yeah, we forgot Engels. So it would be that's 4 more. So we need to see a couple more. We should do Dang, pissing people off.
Fuck it. Who gives a fuck?
Get Trotsky.
Oh my god.
Dang and Trotsky. We'll put them like over in the corner. Yeah,
on the side of the wall.
looking sad. Oh, we put, speaking of Trotsky, though, we could get like Rosa Luxemburg or
Rosa.
or what's her name from Seattle?
Lady Izdar.
Not Lady Izdar. The lady, the classic.
Mary Emily.
No, fuck. What's her name, dude?
God. It's literally like technically the name of like the Seattle.
This is the name of the Seattle CPUSA. Yeah. What is it? Yeah, definitely Che. What the fuck is her name? She was like more of a contemporary. Anna Louise Strong. That's it. Yeah, Anna Louise Strong. But she's a more contemporary figure. But I mean, not like Ho Chi Minh isn't. So yeah.
Fucking Ho Chi Minh, man. Rock on, dude.
In fact, I'm pretty sure Anna Louise Strong met with Mao, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Mao.
Yeah.
Yes. Was it Mao or Deng? It was Mao.
It was Mao. Yeah. It was Mao. It was pre Deng.
Yeah.
Deng was like
70s,
the 90s.
80s?
Deng? That was the 80s, yeah.
80s,
yeah,
80s.
Yeah. Because or when did Mao die? Like 79 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was just them two, and then after him, it was who? After Deng.
I forget. When did Xi Jinping take over? Like 2010 or 2008, something like that.
Mid 2000s.
I don't know. I'm not a Chinese president historian. Yeah, I forget who was after Deng. I don't know. We can look into that. That'd be something fun to do.
But yeah, I think we still want to get a better lighting fixture.
Yeah, we're gonna order like better lighting because it's a little harsh. I think
it is a little harsh. But yeah,
we don't have any like backlight too. You know, like, you're supposed to have like. What do you call it? A key light and then like a backlight.
Yeah.
But we would need to move our chairs forward a little bit. I don't know. We need to like do.
Well, we're trying to get some of those bars, the LED bars.
Yeah.
The LED lights that we have here, they're kind of running out of juice.
Yeah, they're like cheap Amazon LED lights, and they're kind of nice because they're so cheap. Except they each take 3 AA, and they just chew through them. So it's like the lights are cheap, but you're spending like way too much money on batteries.
It's like 18 batteries we have to order.
Yeah, it's 18 batteries
every 3 or 4
per
months.
cycle. Yeah, it's just like it's
Jesus
just not
Christ, it's like
sustainable.
$20.
Angela Davis is good.
Friends,
Fred Hampton would be good.
Fred Hampton, yeah.
Fred Hampton would be good. Yeah, Angela Davis.
Dude,
Would be good.
fucking
Any
Tupac.
Black
Tupac.
Panther. Fucking Tupac. Yeah, why not, dude?
But yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things we could still do here.
Yeah.
I still want to put like a little green screen here.
I forgot we still have a stool in the fireplace.
Yeah.
That's a live fireplace, by the way. We just don't use it.
We should make a fire here. Like we should figure that out.
Yeah. So like the flu is closed. I would have to like call a guy to come like pry open the flue.
You're gonna call those little kids that come into the chimney.
The chimney sweep.
And you're like pushing them down into the chimney.
No, it's like I talked to my landlord about it. I was like, hey, like, what's the deal with this fireplace? Because it's fucking cold here in Seattle sometimes. Like
it is in the winter.
Yeah, in the winter it gets cold here.
Sometimes it can drop down to like
it was low
degrees.
teens. Yeah, it was low teens last winter.
The coldest I've ever seen here was 9 degrees Fahrenheit.
It was like 12 last year was the coldest, I think. Yeah,
9 degrees is like the lowest
the
I've
lowest
ever seen here. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah. But I texted my landlord and I was like, hey, dude, like, what's the deal with these fireplaces? Because this is a downstairs, this is a basement, and then on our main floor we have another fireplace that I think it's the same like chimney connection. So we have 2 fireplaces in this house, and we don't use them because we don't have a fucking central heater. We don't have a heater, dude. We have a gas heater or an oil heater that I have to order oil, and they have to come fill a reservoir in my backyard of oil. It's like this old school.
That's what we had too.
Yeah. And I've never done that because it's really expensive, and like I don't want to order oil because this isn't the 1800s, and I don't have tuberculosis or melancholy or whatever. So I'm like, dude, I'm not ordering oil. So we have a space heater in our bedroom, and that's pretty much what we're rocking. And I'm like, yo, it was cold as fuck last winter, so like I'm trying to get a fireplace going.
Bro, we don't have any heating systems in my house, in my parents' house when I was living there.
Sure.
I just moved out like a year ago with my girlfriend. But we didn't have any heating systems. My entire life it's been cold as fuck. My entire life, from the time I was like 12 years old, I've been chopping wood. We've been heating my entire house, with fire. With firewood, right? We do have space heaters in each of like the bedrooms. But besides that, it's a decently sized house, all heated up on fucking fire. Every morning we have to wake up our fucking ass at like 5 a.m., 5:30, go out, get firewood, sit there and like make a fucking fire like it's 1756.
Yeah, I don't live in the woods, so it's not like I have access to just wood. So like
we chopped down our big ass trees because we had like 30 of them.
No, I don't. I live in like the middle of Seattle, Washington, so I don't have access to just free wood. So I'm like, well, I was at the QFC or like the grocery store the other day, and like they had all the wood starting to pile up, and I'm like, it's just so damn expensive to buy wood. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
LOL, the kids with the Cockney
accent. Yeah, dude, I was about to do a Cockney accent, then I realized I probably didn't have it.
Oh, is it good enough, sir?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
I can't breathe.
Excuse me, sir. They got the.
Do you have a bottle of water I can have, sir?
They got a touch of consumption.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Anything else we want to talk about? We talked about all our news. You want to? How much longer are we trying to go here? I'm gonna wrap it up and go hang out with my wife.
7:44. Another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to go another few minutes.
Hey, Craig.
Why are you saying his name like that?
I don't know, just for comedic effect. So what's this thing going on in like the chat? Like every Saturdays, y'all are having a discussion. Like how's this? What are you guys
the live?
doing?
Yeah. We haven't been a part of one of those yet. But I would like to.
Yeah, that seems like fun.
We have things to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good things, but we have things to say. Yeah.
You guys need some tankies in there.
Yeah, if you guys need a couple of tankies. Anarchies?
Anarchists.
Oh, already in there?
Yeah, 805 is an anarchist.
Is it anarchist?
From what I understand.
Cool. Yeah. No hate.
And so I think we would be the only tankies, and I'm not sure what you consider yourself, Craig. I think you just consider yourself like a socialist, just a generalized socialist.
Right. Don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see if they say something.
Jesus Christ, what is that? It's like a monster.
What? Where'd it go?
That fly? I don't know where it went. It like disappeared.
Oh my god, is there a big fly?
It went straight from my forehead.
Is it one of those big fuckers?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like those things.
I think it went behind the
They
flag.
bite, I think.
Horse flies?
Yeah, like those horse flies?
I think it went on top and behind the flag. Try to like...
Do we want to like let sleeping flies lie? I don't know.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
It was funny because like what was it, like 10 episodes,
Oh,
10
of the
episodes ago.
flies? Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's because also it was pretty gross down here, but I cleaned up. I cleaned up that room. I totally cleaned out the my music room and like the gaming studio in there. I
it's
cleaned
so
all that
nice,
out.
man.
Yeah.
Like I want a place that has a fucking basement with like a music
Oh, I
room
have
and
a
shit. That is
huge
so
basement,
cool.
dude. Yeah, I have a whole other music room, my gaming computer, my dog room's back there. I have a,
You
I
get,
could utilize this space better, but I don't. I literally don't ever come down here.
I would literally always be down here.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels disconnected from like my wife and my
Why
life
would you bring her
upstairs.
down here?
She comes down here. She plays her music down here. That's why we built this music room was for her to kind of
I
like.
would put like a whole couch in there and like a
Uh,
TV and you guys just chill in there.
well, we just bought her a new guitar, so we have the drum set in there and like her percussion instruments, her keyboards in there, her guitars. So like that's like her music room. But she doesn't play too much in it. Soundproof with like the stuff on the walls. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and the North Korean flag and
And the North Korean flag. That's where I keep like my hardcore tanky side. Is like,
yeah.
that's where like yeah,
You don't want to go in there, buddy.
yeah.
You don't want to know what you what
He'll
you're
start
gonna
doing
see.
like the DPRK national anthem. If you start going in there, he'll start like goose stepping in time. Not goose stepping. It's like Nazi ideology, but or iconography. But
God,
those North Korean like marches, like where they like it's
yeah,
precision drilling. It's pretty cool.
military marching.
Big fan. Big fan of DPRK on record.
Gotta love that family dynasty, man.
Yeah, that's the only part I don't really like is the familial dynasty. Dropped frames 0. Let's go.
Woo!
You've been streaming. You've been streaming video games, haven't you? I've been
Yeah,
seeing some of your stuff.
I just recently started again. One time, I want to
Yeah.
do it again this week, but it's just like it's like a what time, you know?
Yeah,
It's like because
it's hard.
if I stream, like my girlfriend like barely ever sees me, so like if I walk in and like I'm streaming tonight, she's gonna be like fucking pissed.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it is with me. Like if I want to come down here and hang out and play video games, it's like yeah, but my wife is just now getting home at 8 o'clock, and it's like if I want to see my wife at all, and she has to work tomorrow, she has to like leave at 5:30 tomorrow. So it's like if I want to hang out with her at all, it's got to be right now. So like
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, well, let's end this, and I'm gonna go hang out with her.
Either of you gonna bullshit in the Discord after the show? No, my guy. I gotta drive home. It's like almost an hour drive
Yeah, I mean,
all the way back home.
as we were just saying, like neither of us have any free time. Like
We don't like. It's really hard to balance all of this shit.
yeah,
I work like 55, 60 hours a week.
We've-
You're going to full time. He's going to grad school full time,
Yeah.
working full time,
yeah. Like I said, I have so much homework to do.
and then we're pretty much a full time podcast. We slowed down a little bit recently just because there's so much shit, but we're
Yeah.
trying to keep up.
Yeah, we try to do these weekly, so we do weekly recordings, and then all the editing that entails all the graphic design, like for thumbnails, and then the video editing, and like the splicing of videos.
It
is
takes
like,
me 50 to 20 hours a week just for this.
yeah, and
so
then yeah. So my grad school. Not to mention that, just like actually like being a full time teacher, the grading I have to do, the fucking grading. Oh my god, the grading. I have so many Martin Luther papers, Protestant Reformation. I joked about that earlier, but that's still it's always in the back of my mind. I mean, I'm in Discord, so if you ever just like ping me, if you just hit at me in Discord or whatever, I'm always happy to like. I have my phone.
Oh,
on me.
I'll always reply.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you throughout the day. You know,
Yeah,
you'll get a message from me on Discord every other hour.
but we do
something like that.
apologize for not being the most like just present, I guess, just because both of us are like essentially like 80, 90
Bro,
hours.
drop out.
Dude, no, I'm so close. I graduate. I get my master's in the fall of next year, so 1 year.
Oh, that's what I thought you said like 3 years.
Nah.
So they lied to you and then they lied to you again.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They were going back and forth. So now it's the fall of next. Because I'm also doing like summer. I'm going like full time plus summer, spring, and fall. So like yeah.
No, dude,
I
you
get
got
my
it. That's like
master's.
barely over a year. That's,
Yeah. It's a year left. I have 3 classes left this semester, and then I have so much reading to do though. But then I get my master's in next fall, and then I think I'm just gonna go right back into it. I think I'm gonna get a PhD. I was
just
like,
straight into it.
yeah, I was looking at
Not
some of
gonna
the
take a break?
PhD programs. Well, I'll probably take a little bit of a break. I was looking at some of the PhD programs of history at UW, at University of Washington. Dude, they have like really cool fucking Eastern European like PhD programs, and I was like, dude, that looks sick. So like,
Yeah, but what can you do with that?
nothing. Talk more authoritatively on this podcast, on this non-monetized for live stream viewing watching podcast. Yeah, so I'll go another 100K in debt, dude.
Buy the
Fuck it, it's fake money, dude. The world's gonna blow up before I have to pay my loans back anyway. What does it matter?
Well, I was gonna say like hopefully by then we have like some sort of decently sized audience.
Oh, he asks whose name is who on Discord. My name is just Tyler on Discord.
Mine's Master Kenshi because that was I also used to stream before this. I used to stream gaming and stuff like that. So you could probably find my shit in my Discord as well.
You can change your name per server. I have a different name in every server.
I just like Master Kenshi.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
He likes
My
Master
name is
Kenshi.
Kenon. So
Yeah.
and Kenshi is just what my grandma called me. So
Kenshi. Kanon, Tyler.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like Master Kenshi. It just sounded cool, and it
It
wasn't
sounds
taken.
cool. It sounds like it would be a. His name is Genji from Overwatch, right? Do you ever play Overwatch?
Like 3 times, like 3 years ago.
Okay. His name is Genji. He was
I
like
remember
a samurai, a ninja guy. Kenobi?
Or like from God, what was it? It was Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
The blind guy,
Mm-hmm.
Kenshi. Yeah, Kenji.
No, that wasn't Mortal Kombat. I think that was Street Fighter. Or no, Street Fighter. The fucking other one. The one with the Jaguar guy. Jaguar man. Tekken.
Tekken. Okay.
Tekken, yeah.
What's one of them? Hold on.
I don't know. The only fighting game I play is Smash Brothers, and I only play Smash Brothers Melee.
Dude, we should play some Smash Brothers and stream it.
I can stream. I'll stream fucking Melee, dude. I have net play on my computer right now. Well, I can't do it right now, but
Well, yeah, not right now, but like
we could set up a stream where it's like a Melee and then just us talking about politics while we play Smash Brothers.
that sounds like fun.
All right, next time we have to do one of these, we should do it.
Definitely, we go. That'd be kind of hard. We'll play a game and then we'll take a break and talk about a certain topic.
Yeah, I can't. I probably couldn't talk while I play Melee.
Yeah, that'd be too hard.
Also, recognize that I was like, I'm a Melee player.
Yeah. I used to play Melee a lot, but that was
did you?
that was a
like
while
tournaments?
ago.
Like tournament rules?
No, I never played tournaments, but I played a lot with my friends.
I once drove like 18 hours for a Melee tournament.
Holy shit! When you drive to fucking Panama?
And we drove to San Jose from Tucson, Arizona. San Jose, California. And so yeah, it's from San Francisco to Tucson.
That's an 18-hour drive?
Maybe it was 16 hours. No, to get to from Tucson, Southern Arizona, the border of like Mexico and Arizona, to San Francisco. Yeah,
really?
It was like I think it was like 16 hours, 17 hours.
Well, 13 hours from here.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. I felt like that's what it felt like. No, it was a fucking long car ride, dude. The San Jose Convention Center. That was Genesis. If you know anything about Smash Bros. Melee, it was Genesis 4, I think.
Oh yeah, that's too mixed up. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I am Master Genji. I have a Soviet hat that I bought in
Oh, no, it was only 13 hours.
Okay.
I felt like that took longer.
18 is from like here to LA, man. I was like, that just seems like
it took me like 30 hours to drive here from Phoenix, Arizona, to Seattle.
That
was a fucking brutal drive.
That seems like a brutal drive.
That was awful, and I had all my animals with me, and I was alone in my car with my dogs and like turtles and a tarantula and a fish. And I was just like, dude, this sucks.
God, tarantula for 30 hours.
Yeah.
That tarantula is like the world's longest. You got to be put in the Guinness record, like the world's longest drive for a tarantula.
Yeah, no, that's how most tarantulas are ordered over the internet. Like they're shipped from like everywhere. So like tarantulas are shipped all day, every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we split the animals. My wife had like 2 dogs, the guinea pig or the hamster, one of the turtles, whatever, and I had like the other turtle and the tarantula and like the fish and 2 other dogs. It's like we split all of our animals up, and she drove with her dad in a U-Haul truck, and I drove my car, and we just both fucking drove from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
To
By the
Seattle,
way, this guy has like all of the animals.
Yeah.
He has all of the animals.
That's
like,
it.
Name an animal, he's got it.
End of the sentence. I have all of the animals.
All of the animals.
Yeah. We just dropped a new version.
They use the voice recording of mine in it. Wait, whose
podcast?
Whose podcast is this?
Did we miss something? Did I miss?
We just dropped a new podcast episode. Does your party have a podcast?
Yeah, I don't know what we means. Oh, Revolutionary Communists of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is that? Do they have a podcast?
That'd be interesting. Let's go talk some trots.
Yeah. I'll be down. Anyway, well,
I think that'll be it for tonight. I mean, we went on for
an hour and
almost 2 hours, man.
Almost 2 hours, yeah. That was fun. I mean, we should do this like once a month or something. Hey.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing this more often at all, to be honest.
Yeah, we should try to do like a live once a month, like the first.
We could make this. In fact, if anything, we could just make these lives the episode, and then just.
Is there anything against us making just the episodes live?
No. A lot of people do full episodes live.
Is there anything like
for example, H3, all of their episodes, everything is live. They don't have.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of things are live, but I mean, is there any like problem with doing that in terms of like logistics for our show? Like, does it make your editing more difficult or something?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna call it here
I
then.
would just basically just take the live stream, and then I would just put the live stream, and you just send me the audio.
No, no, we know not the CPUSA. We used to be part of the CPUSA. Both me and Kanan used to be members of the CPUSA here in Seattle. The EU branch has their own as well. The Spectre of Communism. Okay. Oh no. See, yeah, the Spectre of Communism. Got to cut down empty air. Yeah. No, we'll have to like. Yeah. There's a lot of shit we were looking at like articles and stuff that we do all that in the edit. Like I do that in the audio edit. I edit the audio. Kanan edits the video. So I use Audition to kind of yeah.
The Audition audio is a lot better.
It's so much
than
cleaner.
OBS. It's
Yeah,
so much cleaner.
than this OBS because
And
we use
so-
OBS and these microphones through a mixer into OBS and a cam link.
But I have to use the OBS audio for videos if we watch videos, and so I have both audios going at the same time, and I turn off the OBS audio until we come to the video, until we come to like a part where we're actually watching a video.
And then you just add the video audio.
and then I just clip it, and then I turned it up in that one spot.
Yeah.
And then I just turn our audio down, or I cut off all the empty spaces where we're not talking. So, and then when we do talk in the OBS, I turn that off where we talk and on in our. I have to flip it.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's clean, but yeah.
Well, all right. Well, sweet man.
Type in the podcast into Discord.
I think you did. The Spectre of Communism.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Oh, unless. Well, that's a cool name because that's the opening lines to Communist Manifesto. Right? Yeah, that's the first in the preface to the Communist Manifesto.
Well, bring out the holy book,
Yeah,
sir.
let me come with receipts. Yes, the specter is haunting Europe. The specter of communism. That's the first line of Communist Manifesto.
Specter of haunting Europe.
The specter is haunting Europe. The specter of communism. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll post in Discord. Yeah, hell yeah. There's two of them. So you were on two different podcasts. Nice.
Cool. Yeah. Please do. Yeah, we'll post it on Discord. We'll plug it. We'll plug it on
only
here.
been on one podcast.
We were on Mike's. No, Left of the Projector.
Yeah, we're on Left of the Projector.
That comes out this week.
Does it?
Yeah, that'll come out.
I feel like
I that'll come out the day
this.
this comes out. Well, hopefully it'll let it down. Yeah, we were on Left of the Projector Pod with Evan, which was a lot of fun. That'll come out the day this comes out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we had Mike on ours. We had Sally Hates Capitalism on ours. We had not Jabari. We were going to be on Jabari's, but that fell through.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
We had Islamic Socialist on ours.
Socialist. That was cool.
We had
Cars and Comrades.
Comms and Comrades.
Comms and Comrades.
Cars and Comrades. We had the Black Jacobin.
The Black Jacobin. That was cool too.
Yeah.
Those guys were super cool.
I'm hoping next week that we can get Red and Green Pub.
Yeah, we want to talk to Red and Green podcast. I think
Yeah.
that was kind of in the works, and that might be happening.
Yeah. One of them's a professor.
Thanks. I see you just posted that. And so speaking of posting the Discord, if you're listening to this on YouTube or on wherever you get your podcast, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, join our Discord. The links are going to be all in the descriptions below, or the links in the podcast kind of catcher of choice. And if you're on YouTube, give us a like and a subscribe and a share and a comment. And if you're on listening to the audio version, go over to YouTube and give us a subscribe there. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all of your social medias. We're on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Revolutionary Rhetoric, wherever you get your social medias. And finally, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Revolutionary Rhetoric. Half of all of the money we receive goes to the I think it's the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. It's a PCRF. Yeah, it provides food and just aid for Palestinian children. So we give half of all the money we receive goes to them. So just shout out to them, and the link for that donation charity will be in the links, the description as well. So if you want to just not donate to our Patreon and not sign up for Patreon and just donate straight to them,
you could just click.
Just give straight to them. That's fine with us. We're going to give half your money there anyway. So if you want to give all your money to them, please do that as well. The link will be below. Consider donating and giving to them if you can.
By the way, heads up for Patreon. I am currently in the making of a GAF video.
The
for you
blooper
guys.
video, dude.
Yeah, we had a blooper video that we're basically just all of our ridiculous intros. We have to test our mics and everything before we start, and so we just sometimes say ridiculous, goofy shit.
And we noticed that there's like hundreds of those, or dozens of those at least. And they're all just like 3-second long 3 to 10 second long clips, and we're like, oh, we should do something with those. So we're
Yeah.
Kanan's in the mix of doing that.
And so I was trying to start it last week, but like I could not find it. Where I searched.
You saw me add
Yeah,
those, right?
I saw the day
I
you
couldn't
showed
find them
me.
either. I don't know where they are in the drive, so I'll just add them again. It's
Yeah.
fine. I created a folder with all of them. It'll take forever to
So I'm
upload.
trying to make something for you guys on Patreon, so you
Yeah.
can actually see
because these
and
video
enjoy it.
sizes are massive. So
They
yeah.
are. They're huge.
Yeah.
We're already our 200 gigabyte
200
storage
gig drive
is already
is gone.
full.
Yeah.
It's already full
Yeah.
in less than a year.
I'll order like a terabyte external hard drive, and I'll just move all of the raw files of our videos just to that, just as a vault backup, and then we can just clear out the drive of all the videos. Because I mean,
good.
every raw unedited video doesn't need to live on my hard drive on this computer and in the drive, and on your hard drive.
Yeah.
So I'll buy an external, put them on that, and then delete them from everywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't even need the raw. We could just whatever the video is created.
I wouldn't mind keeping the raw, just
in case.
I guess I don't know. I guess you're right. We could just and also like we could just download. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We can figure that out later off here.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna make that real soon here. I'm hoping within a week. Well, actually, I will make it within a week. That won't be a problem.
Yeah, I'll get it re-uploaded.
Yeah.
If it's
that shouldn't take too long. I just take all the clips and just cut them down in certain scenes, and it's gonna be on. And I want to put more stuff up for the Patreon as well. We were talking about starting to make readings, Marxist readings.
Oh yeah,
socialist readings in general.
Yeah,
where he's gonna basically create. He's gonna read just like with his beautiful fucking angelic voice.
The specter. There's a specter haunting Europe. I fucked that line up, but the specter of communism. Yeah, I did a reading once. It was episode 6.5. So if you go back, I read Combat Liberalism by Mao as one of our early episodes when we couldn't record that week. I just put that out as kind of a filler. But yeah, it got me thinking. Like I've always wanted to just record because I have like every Marxist text.
And I want to
I want to record them. Yeah,
and there'll be like a different lighting. We can actually set up like different lighting.
I want to read quotations from Chairman Mao. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And I think what'd be really nice is if we could actually set the
fire
up,
yeah.
and sit by the fire and read it.
Have my little glass of brandy and just read quotations from
Turning
Mao.
the pages.
Yeah, the little
and
ASMR.
I will literally edit that perfectly. And as you're reading, I'll put like pictures of Mao.
Yeah.
And then it'll come back to you reading as you're flipping the page.
Some nice little stream music in the background.
And that will go on Patreon when we start doing that. That will go on Patreon for the first 2 weeks before we actually put it out.
Yeah, we're probably just doing give them like a certain time period on Patreon before they get released on the main feed.
Because basically we're giving you guys Audible for free.
Audible for free. Yeah. Just because like these don't exist. That was about the genesis of my idea of reading all these. Is like a lot of these don't exist in Audible format. Like it's hard to find a lot of these Marxist texts. So I was like, well, fuck it. I have a good mic. I have all the books. I'll just record them.
And beautiful voice too.
Yeah, and a beautiful voice. I don't know why I put on that affectation, but and I was just going to record them all and like, oh, that'd be fun, and just have them all just available as like a digital library of, and because they do exist. If you go to like Marxist.org, the Marxist archive, they all exist, but it's web based, and if you lock your phone or whatever, you lose it, and you have to like be connected to the internet. So it'd just be nice to be able to download them.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go say hi to my wife, but we love you all very much. Follow us on our socials. Follow us on Patreon. Join our Discord. Donate to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, and we'll see you next time. Stay Gucci, comrades. Do whatever he's doing, or don't do whatever he's doing. That's fine too.
We're gonna go hunting some liberals, brother.
For everybody in the chat, we really appreciate you just kind of hanging out and chatting with us. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Peace.